ayo komado, ayo komado, yaya tereji yale gbegbe, ayo komado. Be ayo komado, ayo komado, yaya tereji yale gbegbe, ayo komado. Obenu karemewa. Jikunyaka onye afinye lolo dojikure nunye nyaka emegbo jikunyaka onye lolo nezando mafakora olo lolo nezando mafakora olo lolo nezando mafakora olo obenu ka emegbo jikunyaka onye afinye lolo dojikune nunye nuka emewo jikunuka onye lolo nezando mafakora olo ayo komado ayo komado nyaya kereji nyale gbegbe ayo komado ose be mawale foma, otito be mawale foma, mujilanya. Egato be mawale foma, otito be mawale foma, wameno be mawale foma, mujilanya. J'ai fouillé, j'ai cherché, j'ai pas trouvé. Mujilanya nous que les joies massent, mais oh là, mujibe massé là. Kofibe ma watu tonye ma ayo. When I'm near my vo, ayadudu nyona musoma vo. Ayo, when I'm near my vo, ayadudu nyona musoma vo. Egato be mawale foma, otito be mawale foma, wameno be mawale foma. Mujilanya, name of you on nade. Ohana jagbaga, be ya wonuma. Hanyo ube na ya sito ugoro. Ube name of you on nade. Ohana jagbaga, be ya wonuma. Hanyo ube na ya sito ugoro. Ube hanyo ube na ya sito ugoro no die. Hanyo ube na ya sito ugoro. Ube hanyo ube na ifuta ugoro no die. Hanyo ube na ifuta ugoro. Iwebe name of you on nade. Ohana jagbaga, be ya wonuma. Hanyo ube na ya sito ugoro. Oh mama jina be maide tinyela uba. Ai madapo hura. Yebe yale ke tutu hola beramo. Mi bona ube mi bona. Si o mate ma wona deke bede o tuela besagona dodoge no bi tuela besagona dodoge o bede nambe ma wa mesi dombe lolo si ale si que lile Zambona dodoge Si o mate ma wana Tue la bezagona Dodoge No vi tue la bezagona Dodoge Tue la bezagona Dodoge Mi podia sumir a clay. Ai, ai, ai. Dividi monele de cunalie. Mauya manolo. Akaya manole. Ora, ole gomia benyalo. Ole gomia benya. Asi bora, ole gomia benya si. Ole gomia benya. Bena bora, ole gomia benya si. Ole gomia benya. Alo bora, ole gomia benyalo. Ole gomia benyalo. No gomia evena ho. No señale kwa obina dio. Pasko sebe evona milo. Kakala vanya de la le rutina milo. Benono yomia evena ho. No señale kwa obina dio. Aye, Pasko sebe evona milo. Kakala vanya de la le rutina milo. Eleolo, no me aleolo, no me aleolo, no viva, me ma plena Lucio Yesu wananda, obeva, me ma plena Lucio Yesu wananda, no viva, me ma plena Lucio Yesu wananda, yadona, na mevo, no viva, me ma plena Lucio Yesu wananda, oh tialele nye jija.
Meet 100.9 FM so anina and Monday, March 2 and 2026 and the time just about gone 27 minutes past 1. And na ye juada na obanim bosume na yewura mu yi ne da to so me no ye wura ma ye kodi bronya ana ye de ba eye opepon ebusumi no opepon ebusumi na akatue say wadi awie dadansa na akodi bro nyanti na mu ahokire na chesa ato ne gade na awie ene se ye de call eye ojefo busumi mu ojefo busumi mu so kwansi na awie na just February 28 na ba senior broni birthday ai ene se ye akowura eye obenim nti benim busumi ne de to so mienu ne de to so mienu ene enadwo ya hye enadwo ya hye no me man ti dwumadie oman ni ntini se menew de bekoso wo yakwan so nyina da still na wo de abetena se na de dwuma no ajeri
oba
se ye fence kuntu NDC kuntu kan fifi kuntu
yeah kuntu
wo free adwuma ko besian se
okay
ato force so hu ene se ja kuntu ehia na do ni ho de kuntu so se me ba doctor akua de na obewa no
okay
ene se na me twentwen so a no se me ntwen na ato force ba ato force ato ba obema na adwuma ye
na se na wa be
ene se ato force ba ya fimu nie anu ama kuntu adwuma kuntu eye ene se aja me promise no also nya adwuma ye obewa me ben nti aja me de me ben mana de aware a majeri damanim se me ben nyankropon atete na nyechese ne maami adwontwiwa adwontwiwa bɔ ne homode na tete nkwada ya mama mienu edi doctor akua de na yepanyina wo di doctor akua de ba na mane medina se kuntunsa ne kuntu ede na nante afifi kuntu NDC me ba na kwaka Dubai
I say flight bi ama
akua nkasa cross daddy you can easily get into trouble so I don't want to talk to you again
na ma na njojo no say flight bi ama
it flight bi ama nti
flight nko flight ma
tete kuntum blansen mi fa case bi antia no
said dey
so no ntiam se akwada anmra
anti not offering him oba na okaka
of London
and one pass it through Emirates na no dey ba and one more pass it through away your friend
miss jami busa ne se kuntum adwa me ho aso be wa kua de kwa
wontimi fa hwe mo no
wontimi fa hwe
wontimi fa hwe mo na onda so ni hwe
wontimi ba na akoka Dubai
akoka Dubai say oba no oba so oba no so paint no oba
na wontimi nya no hwe
we dey na oba no na oba no paint no oba on pass anko wo kan ko be robise no
usuma no
na so paint no oba na oba be ka no so pe ono so no woje itu akoka Dubai amane nka ho na ye mo mpa mom se bibia anto no na onya asomdwe kama inti kuntu ntimi nya no hwe
mintimi nya kuntu hwe
David
mintimi nya kuntu hwe
on there say on the na why so on ono ombrichi contract bia
kwafu doctor ke tuwa ba kwa chese dia
oba ne na abara go be Dubai na je say no ono so ne huji nti oba ba behwe ni kunani
abehwe kuntu anim
nti
kuya de akam
nti yimpa ndi bebo ata na chi bibia mu bedwo no waba
again the man can tell me say you can easily get into trouble
say baby o won say ho ne there it was a situation o won there nyina
ye no hunu ye ntia because you can easily get into trouble
nti wutum say bia no man ko ye ntimi hu adokro hu ye there but we say situation na wo ho no is bad nti bia nunti na o prevent say yeah onjina won ko bia
onim nipa
on take position ye
onim nipa bi ko o is drop one ko bia odi and incidentally so kuta British passport enti akira nko no ego kuta Ghana passport kwa saka no huton akaso e Ghana ni na we be ye kura na just kuta British passport ahwe bi kura be free so ye spy bi
enti ayehu nti nti mpani enfam montana chi e dia bibia be kama mu bedwe no waba
sa no ba me so kuntu so mo ne nhia
na ne de on so ma
kuntu ba lock say de
ba lock ne de ono Donald Trump no wa ka no na
mabo uti
ono de so nya hwe
asame na ni meken
wa fo nya hwe
it is still kuntu wu so so
nya hwe
kuntu blansen
kuntu blansen we your friend is saying
just akwada be doctor kuya blansen na ya me de din blansen na ya me de na kuntu akwafa we abehye me kon
onye ba log baby madam fu bi na ne girl bi ba ne nchen girl no call ya so oto na atade na ayo no shi atade no de akwahye girl no so girl ne ba
na nyo no
wo ye de ono be so ayo
nyo no
wa ayo na wo de to atade ye hana na ase na wo se oba na e ba log na ade na wa fa to jeans
Ora.
Ayo no or the two jeans.
Wo de susu na de pem ko na fa wo ba bia ka. Ba so ba bia na ya ma ne ben.
Enya ba bia na de so be.
Eno me gitu. Ayo ahimata de a. Wo be sa ko no biem.
Aden wan kwato jeans. Na me kire ne se nti o ka no. Na me kire ne se. O ayo no aden wan fa nto ne jeans tra no.
Na nim dia ohugu na ni so se onkonko
chi na. O the two jeans tra ne dia. Na me say jeans tra ayo atima se ne dia na no odin. Na wakwa ta hana.
Kwa dem free London.
Hana.
Na tete bi akodini doctor na kwantra London dini doctor. Na kuntum wudini kuntum me pa Blanson na so akoda ni din so ya Dr. Kuya Blanson. Na no nti
kuntunya hwe.
Kuntuma mento nka na oye Kuya de no waka Dubai na ai. Kuya de so me de ntome na adwa de fuso hine. Onye hwe. E de waye bibi pa. Mu meje me na dia de asie no no. Zion Felix na me sori na me tietie nsama Zion Felix eka. Na me nim se Zion Felix na dia ye no ana me bɔ mpa de ma no. Say me am ba so akwakem. Dr. Kuya Frimpong man so. Asemasi. Nti we the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for so no at the numbers be jai.
So on betuma first. So when we issue travel advice
and the numbers
be jai, yeah.
Let just say we got to plane mo o anticipate say ade re be fa ho. Let just all land there yes ya close airport.
Oba could damn crown so no so you're lucky. Because no as at Friday no na of Dubai. And so oko mu US so. Saturday no frame nti Saturday na nwumrea na and as ABC san ko no so ka mu ono so aka.
And this my prayer so say the British embassy would also help British citizens as Ghanaians have issued say telephone numbers say will be
emergency lines and won't be to me after.
Yentie de Zion Felix say Emirates for free wo Emma omukoshia no mukokoshia no ede na wo mo ka yentie de no mo ka.
I was as a yet good news. Siana we are call from concierge say madam Emirates to see me but that no almost a passport no ticket no. Embra, I'm sure it's a good news be ebebam say for passport no aba na yahwe what's next we take it from there any other day no but I'm sure say this week the kota will call because we be a echo phone and we don't go away area me cousin pambo everything they down really well everything has really done well with this issue and how they've handled it. I was when I Emirates for yes details more details tickets reference code room or any of that and or input here say in case of any further information be ana on communicate to mama see I can also name there too obi kaka say na for be to if Abu Dhabi or sino Abu Dhabi any further details be ana mama so also in case of any thing be ana obe baha no be can say ma hotel na kasa afraid now on deliver area so right now I think there's hope to fly. I think that hotel no show no catch so no do now one after that because say any pan by crowded our so now they've started taking our information, our rooms are your wall and all that. In case of anything behind Niger, no more picking on the airport. And then on the whole and pay it is a little over 8 o'clock. I go 9.
Right, into Zion Felix. Konongud Master Zion Felix and what is what the update but say Emirates for support system 200,200 persons 20,200 persons and so far no closure of the UAE airspace no omakoka honum na Emirates for some befa omoduane ka ene hotel ka befa bibia na as they work around the clock say betimi ahwe na free that zone honum and into your regime said the Zion Felix sikan no and then Dr. Kuya Frimpong manso nyankropon be kan ho na waba na kuntu plans de me mane me ba no kuntu plans ye bad luck papa kuntu madina kuntu plans we bad luck ye be bodi amfata say mimi nya da agye mfa ne nante nti kuntu na beba be fa ne na nante de ama me a na kuntu ama we yesidi a na kuntu men be bia me tese me say men no men no e de na nantwi kura ne me peka ama na nantwi kura na ho be tin na na se kuntu pa de ti abo di na akotena play mu na di akoto no Dubai ne de kuntu branch NDC asemato no pa mo nka kire no mo on frame program so kura me ne yaka me ne kura yaka mo on frame kura majari mo atena se e pra me da kabre mahmudu osioma na me manti adwumadi na me de bremo na adwumadi mi a me di ho kyen me no sere be bo me de na da kabre mahmudu osioma na panyin kojo da me ado Sabri we say no in Los Angeles. Into or no so
Bob from one international man. And who produce from Los Angeles. Na Major Sajima Bonichidom and na nantwi siako 19 this year or no so botchin. Waba penye abna frema bankro and na no so no technical production is the naso ehwama various social media handles. Ne nyina atimi akọ ede ama yene na no chire no emfa se da sonko emfa ema ye engineering team no na engineering team no achu agbo na worker oti akọ na najare na aboaje na da sankono ma ye sanmra ne se simpro na facilities team no so no ye big solo na dada na Godfred ye friend Ubrana na yaw mapuna na Sami na ninyina mu no DJ Bosco na Mills nso asadma ne se tatai na ye hunu ba bia de fufu be kwa ye de ebekwa akobo and somewhere dabama so about say misinformation and disinformation in the edible consumer world or say misinformation and disinformation in the edible consumer world one year ye bre enu anuane Emma yedekayano and some ben ayana yetimi eka edeto wo mo so a yetimi ma adwumamu ni nyina esaye na sansem no ya na yeka obi beka na se ya na adanse mpo ewo mu ana enti ye nei de aduru so se woni a ye chips na chips yi okokotwa a ye de normal frafra mu emu nsem se deja ene omoni abre papa ya no mu ebedi nkomo as Ghanaians trapped in the Middle East as a result of hostilities. What is the foreign ministry doing for them? 1 year to kwan na yakokam ewa Middle East honum nkronkro ahodo ni nyina so Kuwait, Bahrain, Tehran, Iran honum a ene UAE ni nyina United Arab Emirates dia ben hye ene de agu akwan mu a ye de ema wo mo na yenhwe na Cote d'Ivoire reduces cocoa prices ene na yesi Ghana ban wakwa akwati cocoa so ede age from 3,600 ede about 2,500 na nipa bi eni abre one cocoa akuafo sika na kam mimi de se midi akam ma me watwe yim abre ya me hia sika ne dendende no abre so na sika na akamu mai ene from nanu enura kwesi March 1 no la Côte d'Ivoire so atene de so ama se sia Ghana cocoa no more than 50%, it is 50% more than the price la Côte d'Ivoire ede edge and also na ya dwendwene ho se la Côte d'Ivoire wo ye senka o kushin na kuafo no ekope bosia $500 million afi odi kushin akuafo no wo ya na nye yie and afi de la Côte d'Ivoire can say the obesekum to defeat etimiji tu mo say debi ade na duro no unsustainable say omobe kusu aboka Ghana ban so say debi $150 million bi ni nyina ne say the principle of say on my livelihoods ebe ko form a ye bobosia ebedi enum ana ye bobosia e de ye japade e betimi awo amaya na ye ko bobosia bedi ne yenum no wo mo kura na ye bobosia ne de ma wo mo no wo ma chire no nipa dodo se ne benya bi adie ene ye behwe na yetimi adwonwon global info analytics wo de aba wo se eye baba jama fala wono ana ye kro ene de ni nyina ebeto wono
na some kakra or de ebaye on a WhatsApp so say Facebook like Kwaku Boateng also wafa in this case Kuntu hasn't done anything no. Yes, I agree when it comes to intimacy all you need to be careful, especially to us the men. We often sack the good women from our lives and later regret deeply and wish to go back to them. Nevertheless, we pray for all loved ones to be protected by God. Manoba statement was say Father Cabre, hey, you have case against Kuntu Blansino. Manoba na ken. Sister Kwabna me offer say also sharing. And I was say Agra that's set to be released tomorrow, March 3, 2026, after 15 years sentence was slashed to a year. And or they and also what they buy. Also, we are waiting to see what the Aegis office will do. If they will still keep globetrotting and taking pictures once pertinent issues are swept under the carpet. An image being created that all you need is money and network to have judiciary on your side. Your Mohammed's government needs to keep a close eye on the Aegis office. Babinabu Biansa, Nana Frempo Ziga, Ohimi Tawia, Adakabre Frempo Manson, Irestus Asaridonko, Nana Kojo Jantwa, and Odebaye. Also, even if crude oil hits $150, we don't care. As far as Ghanaians are concerned, none of the bombs be thrown were directed to Ghana. So let nobody come and tell us this fight between Iran, US, and Israel would affect Ghana. We don't want to hear that news. If Russia and Ukraine war didn't affect Ghana, then let nobody repeat. Nobody should repeat that here. Over K and No Plan Station. Over Dakabre, Ayawasu East is blue. Greetings to Moses aboard the Blue Army Commander. And Ode Ebae. Right. Na and some of the down mono and say you gusua ye be dwendwene I didn't see ye. Aye me dofo. Me wafa ase prekope. Ohene ni. Ade na ohene ni kan ya enne enkrofo atie gusua aye kojan gon. Yentie do ohene ni kan. Yentie do ohene ni kan. Ohene ni no sesen.
So apefo sufo woba. Na fa to anwanim. Na nane a wo be chi ba yire dama anwane nwe. Na roba na fa. No wonder cancer.
Mommy, I think that what the woman to anwane ma. Mommy go so I that same time ke give na na ye for me no aduane wo ma mo mo na ade wo. O shia wa de magusta da say ni ma na the figure so mommy na the roba na tuma. O pa mommy fatse board there dan ma anwane instant.
Hey! Ba roba no be nane wanwanim.
I don't know what you're not tonight and then dinner body so but take to about 2 months ago now. And you need to stand down because of color nonsense. We are not with international. Color nonsense. So what you know the color name imagine go on mommy. And then we are about 2 months and answer. And then panya white. But what color name
Obi onu yes or chip plantain ni bi no ma usa direction.
Mommy, me Kenya be in I assume. I don't see it's never seen and the country could be plank so. It's never seen a media and make over time and change. You know, or shall they are made than me. And I'll say, Mammy, as some other can never meant you, thank her. We hear the mammy show the moment people think I'm a chip plantain anyway and anchor. Who original pine in Nanko, I am millionaire. Only the chip plantain anyway and I'm made to and the 3 girls money almost got plantain more to send out to the air. And collect you plantain, you take out the wall about 2 months.
Kenya wa woman ka wo ku omo.
The work and you said
enti say no plantain no da so che.
We got some men not the mention the crown sorry that I want to make home.
Come out 10 million ka ho now this no prayer we di ama me.
Man ba so me go so ameti.
Mate, Kevin fan number mama me we show ya me send 1,000 why?
FM.
But mommy that's going to mention mommy the work and dey. I am no cray. Mommy enye ntro. I am
right. Enti wahini ni adaswa na me ofa ase prekope no wo Sompa FM wo Kumase na ne nkomodie mu no na sankomo yi abepue mu awia yi me friend o ye program no so fa obi na eka na se mo na akoka abeka me na me ma no akotomo bi wada Roma na enye wei na ebema dwumadi a bia ye die no ye begya idie na makan aye nneɛma bi so sɛ ababaawa bi so a wɔkye ɛyɛ plantain bi ɛwɔ anwea nkwanta ne nsɛm a wɔkaayɛ ɛde etia ɔhene ni ɛde ne personal struggles ɛde ba abɛhyɛ saa adwuma wɔ esee mu nti ama ɔhene ni so ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɛnyɛ sɛ bi ne yɛmba ɛna ɔbɛbɔ ne ho ban na ɔbɛbɔ Ghana ni akɔda biara ho ban sɛdeɛ ɛyɛ social welfare ɔno ɛna protection and care of Ghana ni akɔda biara no ɛwɔ social welfare for akakye na afei so no yɛsan ɛwɔ the Ghanaian constitution a ɛno nso so ɛbɔ Ghana for nkwadaa ho ban ɛna yɛwɔ ɛyɛ Children's Act ɛno nso so ɛbɔ Ghana for sɛ ɔsɛ the welfare of the child no ɛyɛ paramount the irrespective of biribiara no akwadaa no yiedie ɛna ehia ansa na akɔ Ministry of Children so yɛwɔ Children's Department of Children ɛno nti asɛm ɛda hɔ no ɛyɛ sɛ misinformation and disinformation in the edible consumer world saying na yɛsi kansɛm bi miti program so saa time na me wɔ Hot FM ɛna ɛyɛ anti-mercy ɔno na Las Palmas ɔyɛ saa adwuma no na Las Palmas obɛbɛbɔ wura a ɛyɛ Hot FM studios abra na mekura menim sɛ wɔɔba na anti-mercy obi a no onim no bi ase na anti-mercy mood kakra na ɔbaayɛ studio no ma producer for mu nyima sotire kura de na nko ɔbɛyɛ yɛ nyima sotire na anti-mercy baayɛ na ɛde wɔ pa no ho sɛ menhwɛ nasere mu ekuro bɛ ne da nasere mu na menni adanse sɛ ekuro bi da nasere mu anaasɛ ekuro bi na nasere mu ai asɛm bɛ na anti-mercy wode bɛhyɛ me na anti-mercy asɛm nyinaa ne sɛ Las Palmas adwuma no a agina no akɔwie sɛ anti-mercy so yɛ kɛn so ɛm sɛ ofuraburi yes ofuraburi sɛ yɛse ekuro bi da ne sere mu ɛna sɛ ekuro no ɛna yɛyɛ aduane ne wɔ hɔ akora na nkrɔfoɔ mɛtɔɔyɛ a na wɔde ne saa fefa de sere mu kakra bi a ɛna wɔde agu so ama obi na nkrɔfoɔ asala na yɛtɔ nam sɛ anti-mercy ma me swin ade oni wɔdeɛ nam sɛ anti-mercy twa akoma tɔ yam ɛne sɛ nnɛ meba bɛteɛ sɛ ɔbaa bi ɛna ɔno wakɔ contribute wɔ program a na ɔhene ni ɛyɛ na program no mu ɛna ɔno ɔbaa no agya wɔsom nyame ɛna wɔn nso wawareɛ yɛn a yɛgya mɛɛmɛn agya mmaa yi hɔ nom a ɔmode nkwadaa yi abɔ mmaa yi so a singere mɔdafoɔ a ɛte Ghana ha sɛ a ɛyɛ brɛ na ɔno deɛ ne kunu ɛna wɔbɛka na kɔnsɛm ɛna obi na ɛka kyerɛ no kyerɛ sɛ akɔyɛ ntoatoa so wɔ no obi na ɛka no ɔno teyɛ si ɛsɛ sɛ ɛwɔ de rɔba ɛkyerɛ sɛ ya na kyerɛ sɛ anwa ne nsa da ne ma anwa dodo a yɛde kyi a yɛmpɛ sɛ sada na yɛde rɔba ne to mu a na ɔbɛka kyerɛ bɛɛma yi ɛna bɛɛma yi twi n'ani ɛyɛ sɛ wɔ mfie no ɛde da bɛɛma ne tirim nti ɔbɛkye kakra ɛde ama ne maare na ɔbɛkye kakra na ɔde akɔ asɔɔdan ho na ɛsɔfo pirikyi na agya ɔmo bobɔ mpuru ɛwɔ asɔɔdan mu abra wɔtɔn na asɔɔdan ho afei de ne kunu bɛtena ne nkyɛn na ɛna ne kunu ka kyerɛ sɛ hɛ sɛ nka na mehwɛw sɛ wonim na nka abɔ ho musuo na nka de rɔba yi bi to anwan yi mu sɛ yɛ a afei de ɛsi anwan ne nsa da no afei na wɔbɛkyerɛ ne kunu ma nsa de aka ho sɛ ɛbɛma ɛyɛ bɔɔdeɛ no soso ayɛ deɛ bɛnea emu ayɛ crispy ai na ano me kwa akɔtɔ ɛyɛ kwee na me dwawulo ha ya na akɔda yi ka kyerɛ sɛ yɛ a wɔkye ama ne nyɛ crispy na akɔda yi tue mu na wɔsere me ibu fi ma ntɔ adan yi akyerɛ sɛ me sɛ wɔma ne nyɛ crispy na crispy no na kyerɛ sɛ mto no onima de kɔ no nso antimi amu sam ɛna ɔtu yɛ siriam sɛ na akɔkora bɛ na bɛgyina ha sɛ a wobɛtɔ adeɛ kakra wei ase ba ne nyɛ crispy ɛyɛ Osubadu Street wɔnom ɛyɛ baabi a me director tɔn nsuo yi ɛyɛ special ice for ɛkɔnɛ mu hɔ nom a dwawulo Osubadu Street ɛwɔ na wɔkye no nam sɛ me sɛ maba bɛtɔ bi mu a me si crispy a wosere nti ababa wɔ ise sɛ wɔn de rubber no to anwan mu a na ama bɔɔdeɛ na yɛ crispy ɛno nti waanyɛ ne saa ɛno and after the kɔhwɛ single mother for and na yɛni abedie na no mehwɛ sɛ YouTube egusuo and the wage for so the aba wage for na abaye hwɛ oba fɛfɛ mu bro yɛde manya adwuma yɛ nti musi mu mfa mɛma no ho biem ɔn sɛ afi yɛsɛ adwuma no de afɛ de budi mirika bɛ mɛma hɔ majeri asɛm na da hɔ no
wɔn maka sɛ wɔn yɛ single mothers
okay obi ani kunu mɛma no yɛ irresponsible mɛma no gya nkwadaa no agu wɔn so ndom bɛgyina kwan mu a saa ayi no a wɔtɔn no ɛno na wɔtu mirika time ofiri fie kura wɔba na akwadaa no nsɔre ntu bɛkɔ na nkwadaa nketenkete wɔn na hwɛ nketewa ne wɔ mu no na wɔn akɔ school ɛkwan akɛse a ɛwɔ wagya ɔde bɛsene kɔ ɛyɛ kaasoɔ nyinaa hwɛ kwan kakraka wei Ghana ha nyinaa ɛhɔ na kaa bɔ nipa paa but baabi a kaa bɔ nipa dɔɔso a nipa wuo yɛ achimota old yɛ fɛn sɛn old station hɔ nom no baabi a bus stop no traffic light ne gyina no single spot a kaa bɔ nipa paa the whole Ghana ɛyɛ saa sport no ɛna ɛyɛ kwan ɛyɛ arterial road so a ɛkwan bɔ kaa nipa kaa bɔ nipa more ɛnso so yɛ arterial road a efiri Malam yeah, men's room, Eddie Tram SCC Tetegu, Eddie Akokaso, a host and a cabo ni papa. And it's a May, Memma, Aquarium staff for Memma, Nabrama for Memma, da for, or Puatu, Tamwa, Wakadi, Yokoi, a Kaguasum, or you are Nuna no Kaguasum, or you are Nuna no Kaguasum, or you know a piece of your, Napa Pede Ninsemba, no, you know, and a mesum pair in some funtino, Yabakiyama. Mranti bebrebe aye doctors aye lawyers aye president fo nyina efa omo ma me na hwe wo mu ati ana ye na edwuma na ase omo samba me ma ho ye nyu omo de ni ma jeri
obana we asemen wo ma ba be ka omo asem de nti ye ma omo ba be chiri
but misinformation and disinformation enyu omo nko ade unti ye kan no ma bebre yesi ye de paracetamol ne de no adua ne de akwa ye waache ye de we ye de die ne de gungum ye de we ne ye say unsi ye keka
sa kra no edu be no mo say millipede we kankabi so mo say wo mo si kankabi de fra be no said ya enwo ne bebem so ahunu na ye de so mo si kankabi no
so ahunu
there was a time so dey meet ye na me say me call eye madam me call so madam fu bi okede nti ode me call baby omo ye ngono na me say me kwa kwhwe say kankabi ben na omo si different ngono nso no kra me call me ho hwe
kusi ani jofa mo ho nyina ye ngo ho nom na yes omo no mu tietie na omo poto na je se ne nase fini ayi apropro aye no a ode efrafram enti so ye keka nsem bebrebe
of eno sa de no ade edi enya pa te se dia esi efa plantain chips because na me bi say me de omo kan kra me nti because
me na wo wie
o me na enra me fi kuma se be no na me to
am ade yes ye rubber atumu no
there bi o Ebola kra baaye no Ebola baaye no
efasi ase na me wie anya me hwe
there bi anya hwe
sa
Ebola baaye no unsa akrante e be ye fo pa oya wo mo se na akrante mnom ne ade etu bedu choba no kuma se ye kodidi o ba bi atonsu kona bi mo ye bi sa se akrante se akrante ne wo mo to we 55 se dem sa yi me asan gu so ma me that time Ebola kraba
na awi akrante ne sa no
me na me say oh akrante na no perfection no body ne na me sempa cho akrante fa me nu ka ho
yeah
enti me akrante 525 cities
tete uji ni dua no
me je no me ma sande ne yema de na wo mo de ekunu no ama no sande ka enti me kwa me ka say Ebola ne nkoso ane wo ho because be ma akrante wife
ayefo
ye kwa ne nso yen ebotom ye kakra bi anya bia awe so that enti say yaw ya ba keka nsam na hu plantain chips ne em so mo de rubber na che me nra me ba nyina me firi kuma se bia no na me we ne kakra akra ansa be because me say me be drive long distance na be didi ana laziness ya ache me enti me plantain chips bi say ya na je me bogu ma na me bo nso gu so na mo me dream destination na ma pe fufuo correct one be edi
oh sir
enti de wo mo keken wo fa ye be kan sem na ye di we say enti e ba especially ye no ma ye wo radio so
asem aye ken o say mafia na di we e de aben na ye nto ebo ase na ye nkenkan mafia ade na o de aba o say wafa this is true, but not all of them do that. I witnessed an incident at Tepa. My phone was seized to wipe off the videos I took. a woman who happened to be in same business calmed the situation and confirmed that some plantain chips sellers do that. So it is true. Says a be it had only a day shas yebusa say. Identity and a radio presenter CIAB, you know, or no all ye program. Na obi be free. Not just when you contact.
Yeah.
When you content. Nipa no e free ye no. Na kwa we say. Or also so assign I rely on obi dia all ya uhunu ye. And on no war ba ababeka. Na no anamo munyina dia bufuo. Ewraya frost.
Ova mama ka o myself.
Chef, I'm
Amada Kuna. Na Amada Kuna. Ufri Krubes.
Show me Fiamina.
Hey? Na Jana on yes, I'm Tiamu Bebrebe. Ufri Krubes.
Bocha me Fiedna.
Edna.
Change.
I mean the fee.
Bochange.
Nana Kundian and Nana. No Fantinia. And now think how you may be an eye.
Bocha Mitchell plantain.
At your plantain.
Injo.
What tongue now would she?
Bocha Mitchell and a mini animals to Tony B. Mitchell Monk.
Would she a man crop for? We. I want to your frost saying.
Me show your friend Mercy.
My Mercy. Some she and me a penny Mercy a year last Pamas. Na Mercy man is way. I mean to Kanja also free Krubes.
Pacho me free Kumasi.
Kumasi dear bay. Kumasi
Pacho me free offense above one so Bremaya and your way at it.
I haven't Wakasa. Offense above what they say, Krukasi, I just say a tiki, you know, one gun and other above four. Atam Dr. Dofornum. Na or mo ye tiki me the electricity post near the above for you, Krupa Papa. I want a nam so ede. Name of Bremai dear, Eja Brema was Cynthia, Otokohine, a whole and an museum wa or quas and was Saba Bantuman. Waba, Mamapo, was your frosting?
Pacho me the mother.
Mother, now mother Edin.
Pacho me the Mavis.
Maybe I looked at Gapuha. Oh, Henny.
Pacho me fear
Achimabuabo. Let's say, you Odia in Cabuabo. I sent to notice Odia in Katy. I react as a brass cocoa, Odia in Kajina, because you have Fusua or someday Odia income who grew up near and as watch the plantain, they brought a woman. Buddy, Michiao, a Rakuma was also Ukunu Michiamunina. Right. A dear Nessia, Kojai, at Nani by.
Bocho, Muesi day. Macho minio Mary. Measure me Mary, minion, and no question was I'm a 130. I'm said I 130 then. Also, I shall plantain I want to pony and I mean, TV, and I mean, your phone also. Mammy, my age. And in this and Abbott, no according to last week. Yet 1 year young cocoa bed, and I'm winning my summer bansia, and you may want to, Miss Abbas and Noaba. I say I plantain. What's the other robber near the chew, and I'm a robber. Abba robber. I see Betsy and quite in phone. And I'm going with them, maybe. The TV was of an or Hinowa. Or Hinini, or was program, sir. Or be after a frail say, Menam Kumasa once in a missing pedamushia plantation. Na Mishia plantain and miss and there. Plantain and Pesami chibi. Na Yanni say, I say, Uncle Fia. Kota hangwa. Not all. A force of four robber now, what the force of Gumini be. Na photo and winning. Na do to me natural plantain na. One on Sunday. On my plantain is she then. At this one more than 20 years in Pamata or Sinamis. There. Marta not in a plantain what's the actual one say? And from my father campanka, no I say. Inti plantain ya yacho na robber no see ancient. Near Wegum. I let you nearly Wegum. They say we have one pointing yet to yan Shofana Basabasa. Because of your plantain, also me a book. And Sumuaki can yan tassi, see I shall look on no before. I am with the rubber and etch into mentor. Monsona, I'm the shamemba, and my bassa. And the Muniaka when see and mamma can wear no. Who can know you until I come in a member. Maybe Penido was Kunala Vitana Poafra, Mamma Miska, Miniska, Moshad and Madoka and Makoton 100 cities. Namedaba, 100 cities in the Menenka come here, Wolfie, lady. Or I didn't pay you naughty baby in the Suwayabi. Namusumon kwa na membe na blood ni rana blood ni so yeton ye feel na pa blood rafema ama meji miska miss sister and your man want to me de mechi akọ na wo de mami sabe e batan
na say ye dem man see na anu man nipa mpempem nkra hwe mo fama mesafo ye good traffic ma ye letonad na say ye dem ye be de na yesu ye nya bi ne ye di
na free say wo che plantain na wo ton bi no won che say enkrofo say ye yusu ekwan bebre so e de kire body no unti bi da
mbocho minti bi da mala musia wo bi wo manse ko no kirem nti da ma me no musia wo no one dan de odi angwa egum na wo etwa plantain ye egum owo ya asesaw na anyen nti ma yankofo wa minim wo hina obi a minim do ocho plantain da ma na ye hina ye cho obi ani wo de rubber ode chiwade na makada me nya bi nti we ye bi nti da ma asem no welcome ye gituma onye ye nti o meti si akwome da no already because ye hu be bi ele fenye na ya mala smith school wo de mekwa ma anko na me de be gyan kwan na ayam da ma no edima bo me de na me so memba na me pede me bi
but ye be se tie ase ne se si ano Ghana ha enye plantain ko a enoma bebre nkrofo eka ye de we ne de ye waache ye de we ne de ye de kan ene ye de we ene de ti noma bebre no ye kra na ye de ye bibibia ma ne ye frem enkwan chobafo omo de da be magidi ye obi product nti omo de ade white bi sa mono bibibi sa na omo de agugum don sodium bibibi ye de gum na man kwan na ye frem nti ye tin nsam no bebre na quite consumer no ono ana o decide whether obedi ana onni edie na mum panimfue obi be kase di asem no kwan be so na bema oman maso ahunu se de mu se chemo ade a yesu benya gidie bi na mache ya sesi ade de ya ka kire me se mo che na rubber bi ene o dina me wie no ne bia me obi a me we edie na mo mamo ntwemadwene nko de obi ka ene de de dankrofo tirim die na mo be ye amanga na fo hunu se ampa boni bi eni ade a mo che no se wa mamti o mercy
yo da ya da se ni akwanja wo de amaye awia we ye ni hwe ya se mu nyina wo nyame nsem ansa na mekasa no migina Psalm 109 David nyum oha ne nkron osi maye nyankopon emua wano na abonefo ne nkontopofo abua wanano atia me wode tachama trufo keka me ho nsem na wode anitan sem atwa ye ho ahia na woni yendi akokwa wotane yendi hye yedo anan mu na yendi empire na yebo na wode bone hye yen papa anan mu wochiri me de hye me do anan mu fa wode obonefo si ne so na ma Satan enyina ne nimfa ubunu atan a manu nifo na ma ne mpa ebonane ne bone mane na nsa na ni hwe adwuma no ma obi mfa mane mana ne awisia na ne yire na ne akunafo awie yasam nyina no
David nyom wa ha ani achiri wa ha ne nkron ana chasa wodi ibodu yi
daddy serious
metio
ni eti amani abiri nyina ne se da Paul ka asembi wose Alexander kwa bere dwomfo no waye me boni pi awurade tua ne kai se de ne nwuma tie wo kan Proverbs a wose ni akwa hu sekuo ne wabo udua no wadifo agya nanim me de masam nyina ne se mpanifo se de ani ehu ana no ka se susuan pass obi de rubber ache prante yi bi da ana egu ya dwuma de a awurade yetemu nkan fie na emum se bi nsida ana omaya madwe se ye be gu yan ya dwuma ama yan ne emma brede a ene awurade yetemu nkan won ene won asefo nyinara omo 10th generation nya no me da de enti na me kasa me na me nche plantain chips so do ni me bi anim ubebisa bra kwa amia obeka cho se me ma me ka banku me ma me to aduane wa chema boabo ubisa odi obeka a kire me do plantain e yo yaw na de me wura plantain chips me ku wu 2019 sa 2019 bre na masemu nyina ja me ma bra boabo me so
obeku na fo na ka sei
me na me ka sei ma me ohini ni ka asem bi se oturufo bi anche kurani awurade fa ne bone nche no
oh you don't personalize it
because
the positive side of it me
kunu wu ya no na me nya plantain adwuma wo betumi abisa me sister na nya no na me yo because om kakra na me fa me tinje ba me be hu se ba bia brabo na du no na to me ne me baketo na ma wo boso me ba ko ne na wo twe mienu na me kunu wugya me ubi sa waje obia be ka masemo ya kire na me yakwala kitikiti a minim hwe me to mani ana ye nyame na de me hu bura plantain 7 years ni na me start say me che me plantain chips 7 good years eni a me che me plantain chips daddy se me ka kire wo se me hu se ye de pie water rubber kura ye bia na nyame ntua me
ka de wo wonye
me nya bi da se me de rubber say ebe to anwam se anwa no ebe do so hwan na ka kire Ghana fo sa ofa body 1 pola eya bobo ya baako o use anwa 5 gallons 5 good gallons Ghana fo mo am ne nya calculation 5 times 5 I say 25 million and yanum and na better wo sha anwa dodo a ye de che me waja baby amete meti waja fo ahemfo mpanifo ni bi fie menti obi afie keke metumi afra maame na to speak esisi a so bi ka ga wo mi se maame no wo game se me da ben wo se ma che plantain e de rubber to mu da di obeka sa asem we bua daddy ye juma egu me customer bi fra me na to plantain chips oh me every week bi auto container 3 every week be a containers na egu no auto 3 the last time of friend Nigeria ni more traffic na me dwane ofu me pe me come today I'm not going to buy your plantain chips now say auntie why they say you people have been using rubber and the watch people me I don't buy watch now say auntie what is wrong and they say they've been using pala and the beans people they mix cement with the beans so me I will never eat outside for me to get cancer and I'm say auntie so you think you are doing me you are doing yourself me I told her personally I said, you think you are doing me? You are doing yourself. How can you come out with this story? And even if I'm frying plantain with a rubber, just check the plantain chips. How can I mix an oil with a rubber? And then at the same time, make sure plantain for the things to be mixed. Ghana for we are deceiving our own selves. How can we be so selfish? I don't know my way, yes, sir. Yampa yan ho yan koso. Hwanya baifo ne ne wotu. Ye yesu kire se ye ya baifo. Ghana, ye yesu ene ye ban. E kire se ye ya baifo. MPP was so ayempe. NDC was so ayempe. Muntu na mo fa ne memra.
And I said the wogan, the Ghana ekuro papa, say come here vice president.
Me da asinyami shira.
The Ghana papa, come here vice president.
Come here vice daddy.
Cause I tell me go come here president.
You. Eti me wo baby say. Akuya don kwa ma nani ana ho. Eti na kufu adu bedi ade. Me bu sa be ya. Waja janhwe mutumi seresa. Me say akuya don kwa ma nani ana ho. Na kufu adu bedi ade. Da bi sam sa aden.
Aden.
Every say. Sa bre ni mu no. Na akuya don kwa fo so wa yire no ho ya campaign. No nim say Ghana for na me chi ka kire nko fo so wa nko school da. We are the problems of our own selves. We are the burden on our necks. We carry our own loads on our necks.
Me
pacho me.
Gusu. Hey, what do you think?
We are the cause of our problem. Obi nyayanyo. Ghana. Obi ani wo yeyen. Yenya ni yeye ho. Baifo ne hwan. Baifo ne me ameti hey.
Aya plantain chips na wo chie no.
Daddy me bitio.
Ada na wo mo wager assembly amane na environmental for intimi mehwe ba bia wo chi no no. Ene bra wo chie. No mo certification say nipa asomasi de. Eye na de a wa chi no. Yetimi di adanse ma ne say bibia say ne ho. Ada na wo nyesa.
Daddy nyame nhira wo bisa asem. Na ade ani nie. Me plantain company ma register. Me frame awesome sweet plantain and pastries.
What plantain?
Awesome sweet plantain and pastries.
Abda nyaka say achema bo abo plantain chips obi abeto.
Daddy, any the NC make us say Food and Drugs Board for ewo ayi bi o mama yeye. yekoye exams bi I test umoja num hwe se wo yare bi adwuma na ye ne yemfa na faako me adwuma me ye me tubi me wo wakesa me mom ne yama eti se me kwa food and environment for so mama me set na omo de ama me de how can my workers be able to show people said this is what my madam is using? It can never be possible.
Nsa ade na wo ton no packaging e ma wan hwe yi a obeto ade nyina ma sika asa
sa
omotimi package ade na ade no ye wo fe ndu wura ho se nkrofo test kusuyo se Sainsbury's so se de yes ya packaging ne se de yes ya display or shop wo no wura ho na peso utoni nyina de ko fie enti bia adrum pompon so a we esebone esne ko papa de amamo se Food and Drugs Authority environmental for assembly ama certificate wama ya printing nyina ntitambia na watie no a wodi gum no wodi sa rubber na hye ho se sa we ya wo to no adansie bi wo ho se we nipa oche ye no Food and Drugs Authority ama no to me as I certify say ade no bibia eyeden enim saa so na assembly kuro no ama environmental me free say koba ne say ya na adanse o hono mo a onia wokan a na feso atimi apemfidie bi ebetimi dia packaging fe enumani bebre wo hono ma packaging ti no akonom because ya packaging sani me hwehwe kwan be fa so a adanse be ba modwumanum ama ye hunu say papa bi wo ho because munyina no sabe mo de kwahwe nkwala say de oba kunafo wo kasai
daddy ya dasi what chere yen kwan ye wie be fa so de nanso yan hwa de bi ya wo bibi I friend say labels and stickers ni ya de tare ya ni ama ne ho eti maya me sticker wo me plantain chips ya de sticker tale konko ne ho said de be ya wo abe ho say we won last time me to no she is the same person I say me to one honom by ade ni nie Food and Drugs Authority for na ye kan ho asem sesia no omo paper na ye kan ho asem omo de mayanya omo fa maye to say sheet a book no omo de mayen every year bia o renew for the whole year ne end ya book next year obesa kwaje another book eti a book omo de amount you can never do a photocopy of it
and you say ekoba say Food and Drugs Board for meboa assembly environmental for so emwa ama yentimi nya bibi kakra bi sika bia ebetimi adi adanse ye wo mo kra ye pa adwumade ama mo mra ba bi a chichi plantain ni nyina ne ehunu se mo nyina mayekuo na ye nyina ye nye sure ekwan ye betimi apa so because de omu ni se plantain chips na mo chi a mo da mo de tia se gintaku nsempoa no enkofo hyase de kwa abrochire enti ekwa eba ni se mo no mabode no ye pebia ye nya enti ye pebia ye nya na wo se ye mu firi mu na chese yetimi koto na broche na Ghana fo na wa broche no mo ya Ghana fo sene yen no mo no nya plantain chips no awie enti se mo aboa mo ho boa ye de nsem se betum na ko vara afi obi se menwe na mom ne magana ni hunu se ade awei ye hunu tama ye che no who can we dance ni o say
landlady
landlady niji ima no tan ma chale ni skwa ma bilake ni o fe ni mi no ke wo mi lo ni skwa yo dance ke habo ake jake o kana kan bi futu ami atimi ni ba tinkan wa bonze kuro no so eti mo anya ni sa sesi ano sa wusi wo si ano de nkrofo akeka no a enya de a mo ho betomo nya de a mo ho betomo kura enti wo se mutimi nya advice na mutimi abua mo ho ko because ye kan body every September eko na body ayefo eto bi kwa na body mo say a duro ba ko 5 cedis eduru bre bi so a na duro ba ko enam 200 cedis ni nyina to bebu sa se tam eduro ni 5 cedis mo de ade yi mo 10 cedis ya etam eduro ni hwan mo de ji ni nyina no krofo etena sesesen se si ade me to de ama mo ne se kwan be so na mo be fa so atimi aye ekuo na mama Food and Drugs Authority design bibi amamo na mama assembly hodo na obi awo no environmental force on adi adanse amamu na motimi aye na mo package ade ni yie na mo de ahya ho ama obi ozo ba gye ho akyenye bia no ono mo mfa ne proof mra ne mfa bibi ntu nkrofoti na mo nya adwumanye
yo da ya da se ewie what was am na ma
amatu ama na mo ye ndɛn
sisi anu de ebe ye nie ye be stre food and drugs authority omo no mbetumi aboa ye ebenifo se kwancha de efe ye de sika ana eje ansa na abekọ food and drugs authority no ansa na daddy eje mo so mo boa ye kakra efri se enye sika ketewa enye sika ba na ye eje wo ho efri se saade ni nyina keka ye sika sembom eti ye besre na ye mpenifo any food and drugs authority akasa ma yen sa ye sere wam yenya yebehye kwanchan ade eyefe aje ye de sika ana eje yesere wom nkoyemwa
shasia enye sika na wo se modwene ho mo pe ade a adanse wo mu se eye ade papa yemfa bibi boni bi amfra mu so oba na waye ne yie na se ne sia se me tu me wibi eso mo ba ye nya na me gusu a me wi e bi se me sorry ye talk akra bi na me de e na jeta me wi ade so de ahye mefo so hunu afi 5 cities no se wo hunu se wo de no certification wo ho say na tia wo de na je 10 cities obeto aso pa dance ye say ade no ye friends ye papa on sorry ama yemfa chips ni bi enkogu supermarket akesi num amu onko gina ho onko di achinyi
daddy asema okay
na mu amu gina kwa ho na manimu ahare anu nti na yenim se wo ma gina kwa ho no bu nkrofo o ma gina kwa ho bu nkrofo timu ne yatwum afaso na onko supermarket akesi no a we okọ hotel bi near the plantain chips we man say eye 200 cedis a onye achinyi obeto esi wa che ndi en kama mtie
enso ye de
uko se obi dia na wa yo de yi
me ka supermarket no
supermarket asema ke men se wo mo de na mo soso mu hia se ye benya gidie wo mo soso mu de num mo de gina kwa anto nya ye num samo ye matreke mofuo
daddy ya gina kwa ahofo no kwasem ewo mu ne se aya na Ghana fo no hu ne se ye gina kwa aho nti ye de ye ne nye but ade ni nie ye gina kwa aho no wahu wo che plantain nne ene enwumle metumi asoa bi o chena mesoa ade chena mesoa asa ese mesan kokoche foforo enu momu no aya na Ghana fo no hu se ye daada wom ana ese ye maye nuanom Ghana fo yesra mo hu ne se epenifo se wonyonko da ene woda mentumi cheche plantain wei emre wo se body a wo hoto wei 10 cedis some the plantain we ma 10 cedis sa season we mu a menua mabu but anam say o pese me de meti ko hye environmental we ma me sika sem kodi wo e ma hu say yes menua we ne boarding eti ase me koba se me kotua bibi wo ho no ma me to me fa meje we 5 cedis I need to deduct it eti we me de be ma 10 cedis enuanom adwuma na ye je no yenye ne bete o me se wo pe me chira kwan a daddy makwan a metumi de me number to dwa na be hwe de me chi plantain chips wo ba me chen yakwa o me meti wo hime mu afie ne fie na me chi ade ansa na wo be chi plantain chips no enye adwuma ketua plantain chips so tumi fa nhye da mu nchi o esi me chi wo abonten apata obi atwem wo ye fie obi ahwem anuanom ye mumuda na mum ye chichiri se about time ebenya bi atoma wo momma eti se ye chi saade we ya ye chichiri ne 5 cedis purposely say obi kitaba obenya bi atoma no eti nya se ye ho na tayen enye se ye nya mana broso ana enye sese
me pacho me de kakra mekane say de me hu ne say yempe say asa Ghana de yebetu mpon every say ade papa bi baby a wo man ni mu a na say ye Ghana ni e na ya ade na minimum sabode ye dua wa ha ya ye man mu ne yedua bode no e na nyankopon ama ye nso enim de ene etimi de che eta anwa ne atobode na frakuafo ne ho ama akuafo no mu nso bre no anya kwa every time ye be start plantain chips ton e ma plantain be ye bebre no bode anya ensei bio ama bode djuma akuafo no enso anya adwuma aye na enso no Ghana yempa de power wo man ni mu mitimi hu sese ye China fo ena nkom de machine ne ma beto ya ye bode ni mpo edi twa se ye chia eno de ye nka se ye de rubber ahyem evisa no de ye China made Ghana made de enye evisa na mpo obi ya mpaboa wa Ghana ha ye ntro so Ghana made yo woka se ye Ghana mpaboa ye nto esususu ye nuam saa enso China made ye di kogu store a eye Ghana store ene di kogu enso se ne Ghana for ye mpaboa o mu tro so made in China made in he Ghana de eni kwa se bibia ebe mo ye papa ya de pa bia anya papa e wa se de mesra ne se ye de besra ma lodi na se won kasa ma ye plantain chips 12 buy for omo che bayile wo beble ni ama sen a wo mato agu wo mu nswale no mu kasa ma ye no mu mu aye no man ni ntumpon ebi se ye adwuma ene ye de aba wo man ni mu medama se
you are making contact with Food and Drugs Authority and omo etoto se bia ombenya panyine bia obekasa na this ready ne say I want say mama Food and Drugs Authority ebem na omutimi beye madanse fo omo so na mramu no Food and Drugs no bibia ye eduro anase ye aduane ene asomade ne cosmetics nyina no e omo sede say Ghana public no omo behwe say yenkodi bibia enye enti sene no mudoso ena mo chi na mo ton baabi ya no edien na omo betimi aye de aboa mu benya danse nyesa wo kohye baabi no ache de aye bia rubber bia kofrem na ye de ho danse de aba na emu sa mo sha ase na mo ye na kuya se nipa boni ni bi koye bibi na atia mo a so no every say ye to no bi e bo no ho ban obi am peso beka akofa yade wa bi e de ama no ho so nne no so nkire se ensese mo so mo ye adwuma it is obi nipa boni no be yade ama wo na wo ye no akomam no kuremu e wa awurade mo no na akoba se wo no ho beka mu dia e be ha e yade asa Food and Drugs Board wo esim se omo beboa mo na de Food and Drugs Board for se taku no so mbagia na de taku na plantain chips no e de ama public no ne ehunu se de ye properly labeled na ye because ye wo legislative instrument a fan labeling ho se do be see labeling packaging nyina no so no na yentimi en lift emfa nkosro because obi be fa plantain chips o Ghana ha e de ko amanone ekonyam fa so chiri die a samu so fata mo mutum betimi aye bi ana me boa
betimi aye
enei obi free India ebedua mako Ghana no de agu play mu akoton mako no ahọ no anya sika no de ko eso me Ghana for do sempo ena ene enti adetonfo na mo ho no mo bre enye se ensuo mia me director ensuo special eyes enne chesem krofo salania per special eyes wo ma ton nsuo wa hase no sa adwuma no mu no chese brand krofo brand sana wo ma nya nsuo ni bi kura akoton afri se ye pese yere eti Food and Drugs Board bamu a wo gine sen
ache ye beje atu na emo na aje omo ye because ye dosu ebi gina jowu ebi gina makati ebi gina barrier kaneshi ye dosu ebi gina weja ka so akwanya ebi a traffic light wo bia udu abehu plantain
mo gas se mutimi gas nipa empem wa ha ene wo plantain chips dwanum na wo bo mama lodin na din na nti onimpa se emma titru bet empem wa ha ene wo plantain chips adwuma mu a mo gas wo ompusu nukunu ekanje nukunu se sa ma no kokko bo mo ho bai ba se mu no se mantimi ankeka mo ho amomu a obi mu no se mo doso anti bra oba kokko
ye tuma nkrofo
enu nti no anopai no yaka ya adwene abomu se ye be ya association ye nyina be ya association madam fo ni nyina ye be kan ye ho abom na ya committee ni ye hu kwan ye be fa so a
bɛyɛ saa ne mani nyina nti ɛpa no pɛ ya bɔ no
na mo dance yamrem food and drugs authority and assembly bi obi oton bia no ba bi e chi no bia no assembly no environmental for omo mahwe ba bia mo chi no
saa na tie because open work ɛnyɛ indoor work yɛn fa nsɛda mu untimi fa gas nsɛda mu nche plantain anti gas a na ye use
edi ba bia duro ne de Jisa mu fa kuo ne mema ya so na mbefa wo mo bema be ne menya na me na beda mo ntam akama boaboa no na sabia kuo odibi na woni bi nsatu etotoko
eno de ama so sese efi se bebre nso wokunu
bebre so wokunu
bebre wokunu mi mutu mi wokunu ani mi kunu mi manete
ena bema ne ja wo ma wo bre se
me mra na adwuma na me ye de support fie
why ya de papa
me ye adwuma support fie
but ekuo no de wo se mo te kuo
no de ye bete
eti weja fo mu di kan te kuo pe Opia be hunu bi say you edi entiku mutikuo na bon say apei mu koton na se na watwe bia kwa 11 cedi kura na mu de to futurom na da ho afi wo bi ka bibi fam adwuma no ho na tia mo ne mo ne nye ho a mutabri ni bakura
ya de kokko ya ko sinu okko
anya no anu no mu mu se kakra Edu baby mama man no ma ha mo bebre.
Yadi mpacho de enti ane ma ha ye ni. Asam na ha na fire. Lady na ofra asam ni si mu no, oka asam bi. Wo se menchi na me pese mechi. Ana obi ka kire me. Me point a me pese me gina so wa ha ni. Me pese Ghana 40 asam bi ase wa. Na me pese me chi plantain chips na. Ana me ko bi sa obi. Me pa chao me pese Ghana 40 na se no man kasa just think about what I'm about to say bisa won say force rubber dagba me na be ka che se konkoma
size 5
konkomen kakra kai ai e ba ne se na me de to anwam me pan ya me de chi ade me sister ni dwadwa bua bi eso ba plantain sumu ho
amane ha de omu ane say neat FM mabai your managing director Father Desen ono de won pa chinyeje say obi be ka we nu ya ka obi eno an say ye be pa news editors e wo UTV omama mo cameraman baako omama mo reporter baako na adekuro no a moti wo musi yese mo de echie no yenkonko pebi ne yenso jamie no na camera ni siso na je say ye pen say ye twa mo no ne ye de rubber na to we mu na ye de enti bode na mo de be chi rubber de no mi ameti aka de amamo ne yemfa de ya chi aton no ye chi ne nchen camera ne da so de ye se ye de rubber ne yemfa rubber ne ntu anwan ne yan hwe de besie sa we asem nwanwa and did your hand? That's all so we training. Uvri Krobeson. Aha, Brunia Sante, Bruno Krobeson. And now a Bruno Krobeson of what Abisim. As Abisim the Sunya here. Aha. I just remember Abra. That's a mediano. Ah, mediano. The woman say, Ukasa, what can say? Dear ya chibra mu de yamfa anwa anka ho eduka yamfa roba anka ho to anye careful obi beje ukasa no aka say ye wo de ye de roba ka ho
ya be chi plantain no wa ha plantain na be chi wa ha no mistake ayeye ni na se ke de gas mienu na eba na nka gas mienu no ye be ya intro ama mu hu say asema o mo ka no say na tie but ya ba no ye mistake aye ne say ya mfa gas mienu ana ya mfa frying pan mienu ana ya nto rubber ni bisu ama eti ya ba no se dia ya dwem fan no sa na ye de frying pan ba ko
ya fansha ukuada na fansha fiada
dan ba cho da ba na mo de be sha mo beto mo
meme de ye wie ya no mebo ye news editors na mane
nti da ba na mo
cameraman enti o me cameraman se awia donko ana se fiada wi anti anya ne ukuada awia donko ukuada awia donko na ye pen se momfa gas mienu emra momfa pan mienu emra na sa force for rubber no montobi mfa mra na ye chigu na ye chiro hana na camera ni simo so na ma UTV editors no omo pe omo do omo ti so omo boa oman so it's all about you don't say UTV there be it's all about you eye oman ma hunti na UTV no ewo ho it na therefore na say kwa me despite woni ni nefo sapon na me managing director Father Desen na me general manager Osasante omo buta yi nyina no it's all about you enti wuku ada wia donko me mamusidi ahanu tidi ahanu mumfa bi nto bode no so na mumfa bi nto anwa kura de kamete ne tam kan kamekope bi kura wo ye fence oba pa ho de maamu so hunu na mummechi ni mfa kam de nsiso na obi ehunu say de ye de rubber gum mu no say na tie de yamfa rubber antum no say na tie na yenye mu adanse why se binya scientist bi kura scientist na be de adanse amamu ye wie ye no ye test say de anwani sitie why
Yaraba, you free wage and quarter, papa.
Mupre, eti ukuada mi di mashe ukuada. Ukuada mo amadia na chata model ko ba.
Yaraba.
Waye. Yaraba. Monyi o munyina dini eno mo telephone number. So o mo amapa me akochi o mo.
Oh, da, what mama, waja usi waja junction.
Yaraba. Yaraba, ade na hia me ye tomade.
Oba to munyina mu din.
Yantadio.
Yantadio, say me ba be fi obeji provisions.
Me wafa se ba ko pe Richard Donko o se wafa me ni nyina o wa hwe di ayo.
Ka jenze udi na bibia anyo. She nim. Eni she ya de ya no. Sa bone ne nko ade yentumi ni emfa mo man.
Ya maribi.
Ya di akosi ukuada.
Ya se.
Edi ukuada me ni di. Awia no chips no ana mawie. Enu anu no. Enti no na mo hwe na. Unya drink boss how many pa? Unya drink this way chocolate drink me to me fan no. A special cola me to me fan no. A special Fanta me to me fan no. Nyina edu gbara me huma ni mo de na. Emmanuel Adebayo. Pedora me maure perelune. Mano pedora me Ayo komado, ya pereji ya bebe. Ayo komado, be ayo komado, ayo komado, ya pereji ya bebe. Ayo komado, obe no kaimewa, chikunya kaonye, afinye lolo. Doji kure nuje nyaka emegbo jiku nyaka oye lolo ne santo mafakora olo lolo ne santo mafakora olo lolo ne santo mafakora olo obenu ka emegbo jiku nyaka oye afinye lolo doji kure nuje nunca emewo nunca oye lolo ne santo mafakora olo ayo komado ayo komado ya kereji ya le gbegbe ayo komado ose Also, for good afternoon. This publicity gimmick of the women cannot help them, as their brand has already been dented. Until the Food and Drugs Authority comes in, further, they also know the bad ones amongst them. They must expose them. And you thank me, Uncle Alex Nega saying, over the ships sold in the supermarkets as the certification of the Food and Drugs Authority.
Mami te ile banye. Abo sante te ile banye. Yesu le banye. Ay, ekatobe mawale foma, mamenobe mawale foma, otitobe mawale foma, mujilanya.
Also, your respect as a journalist has doubled. From Anya police station. Say no, lamentation, no, the doors, there solutions to our issues. In the solutions to our issues now, and no more than the usual lamentations that they be adequate. And the Ninian say, you be encourage you, no more shopping to more under the direction of the Food and Drugs Authority. Now, at me, boy,
Ujilanya neno vyo nade Ohana jagbaga Beya wonuma Hanyo ube na ya seto ugoro Ube neno vyo nade Ohana jagbaga Beya wonuma Hanyo ube na ya seto ugoro Ube hanyo ube na ya seto ugoro No vye Hanyo ube na ya seto ugoro Ube hanyo ube na ifuta ugoro No vye Hanyo ube na ifuta ugoro Iwebe neno vyo nade Ohana jagbagba Beya honuma Hanyo ube na ya seto ugoro Obe majina be maide Tinyela uba Mai Madapo huda Kebe yale ke tutu hola Beramo Mi bona obe Mi bona Aye 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 oh aye 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 oh aye 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 oh aye 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 Bere nambe mawamesi Dambe lolonu Sale si kekelile Sagbana dodoge Si o mate mawona deke Bede o Tuera besagona Dodo.
On Facebook Live, Sasso Kwabina Wasuafa. Some of them use so many dubious means to cook because of profit. We shouldn't pamper some of the attitude of these women. And Odebaye. Young Siana Kasei, Young Siansi Wafada Cabri. Do you know Kube Tofe? Anguna Eve Tofe. A friend told me how it's been made and rolled. That they have to spit to their palms and roll to cool off their hands. I love San and stop consuming that toffee. And now it's a lie. Don't mind them. Come Patrick Elliott. The quotation Papa Psalm 109. What can you put quotation on them? Now Emmanuel Keyamwa. What's he saying? What's good afternoon about that? Please help me to understand. Maybe I'm confused about what the president said about the Inkokwan Kete that they sell 720 beds to 13,000 farmers. Please divide it and let's see. And now what about Oyibo Boating or say the report may be false and can be true. The best institution to verify is the Food and Drugs Authority. And now what they ever Kobe Akusa or say the party, some of them are using rubber to fry the plantain. They should investigate themselves and fish out those that do that. As for me, I've advised myself not to buy the chips again. And Richard Donko, Arakabre, look, I stopped eating it long ago. They shouldn't be denying what's from fat. And Manoba Steven on Facebook Live, Oswaba, please tell our women over there with you that they must talk to for themselves and stop saying it is in general. And a wise fight. Amasamai, also someone who destroyed the forest with Galamsey is walking freely, and someone who went in for hunting is in jail. And Ankasa Forest. ufri Axim na wode kwa Elubo a Ankasa Forest no ho no ananse ufri Elubo na wo ko eye enche va asem krom wonam Ankasa Forest mu o se Ankasa Forest no enumu na eye river eye tano ufri Sama Boy na oba besne ede akọ Elubo a ai bridge kura Mabel Johnson bridge eda Ankasa Forest no akwaya kwa pe eya krantie eni aprawa eni adoa ewo mu a yedna ko prison for 3 years ene je Ankasa Forest no enipa bi susu aye asem de yet bi so good net need 100.9 FM empanifo na ba betena say ye be dwondwene ye ho aye losione wana kala aye jalele dito losione wana kala aye jalele dito obenare bukola fo dona waya mine maule metona weo yesu naba wanukunu egale wagege egale wagelo egale wagege egale wagese egale wagege ila yesu gale wagelo egale wagege ajura gale wagese egale wagege aye kukora fo tana wahaya nene maole metona Kojo Amedome, what's he say? What's a good afternoon, Mimenti family. And thanks, Mr. Dakabre, the best afternoon show host educator. Right, and Nanina Muyam Passada and Fama Kunlu Ghana, Nekunlu Ghana, and our soy asne, Emma Yitimi Eddie Jumadi, Ebremo, Kunlu Ghana, and or no for the whole household, Mamiu Papo, Kunlu Ghana, and a dinning in Abbey, Eddie Abremo, Bermano, Eddie Mr. Kill, Eddie Share, Amani Fatigue, and a brebe no, so active. Now, what the increasing the light by do so in the home. Now, a hotel etime abanoso, and inti ponchon capsules, Bermano so Eddie the prostate disorder. Na eno so ne prostate na timi afansen eye properly na ahoto etimi abanoso na SNY granules eno so no eno ane se wodi gu nso hiemu ananso de de mu na edeyie obeka se wanya eye kokoo bi na wonom SNY granules ahonchon capsule eye kunluga na de abanom eno so eboa ama sebe ohonkomwa no esoso etimi epi ama ho etowo na kin tablet na wodi stabilize na wa protect o pressure eno so no kunluga na ede eye kin tablet eno de abrewo araba bazin eno ba ne de asisi no ho a sabiaku woni ne timpokura na unhu se nanim ayeden wamunamuna unhu se wo hawbi unhu se cramps bi edwa no ho ma ne movement kura asesa araba bazin ena eno so no kunluga na de aba kunluga na e 024 413 9176 024 413 9176 and 020 413 9176 020 413 9176 and 024 027 413 9176 027 413 9176 na yenhwe sade bitimi atoto na yenyina ye ho atimi ahare yen igusunete need 100.9 FM. Right, Benjamin Nesari of the New Patriotic Party Wabebaha and Richard Suma, Deputy General Secretary of the United Party, and so Ebebaha. Na Abram Pofwa Usu Eji of the National Democratic Congress, and so Ebebaha saying, Richard, General Yamuatanase.
Yo, Meju Subrapeni.
Now, what to say?
Oh, Naminti.
Right.
Maybe a boko.
Enti quick one. Or say misinformation and disinformation in the edible consumer world here in Ghana. What do we do? And am I na accusations about a quite almost faswa or more ediche plantain chipsy and what in ye ama yato among class rubber corona you see the chisa plantain chips no omfa bi mra wukuada no omfa fry pan ba komra omfa nwamra no omfa gas mra ne mfa sa rubber ne bi ngum ne nhwe se o chia se de sitie na yemfa de anwa foforo so a chese no de rubber bi am from ne mfa nche na yenhwe se nimie no sign na edebeye but on the whole no enye plantain chips super and no ma bebre yes we go how do we deal with some misinformation and disinformation in the edible consumer edible world ya hu chire yin
yo Father Kabre mami fa akwenya kese we na menchia wankasa na machia my good friend Ben our be tenacity na machia all the leadership of the United Party Alankojo maintain our national leadership to the regional leadership to the constituency leadership. We are building a party. And people ask, oh, Adentina Muya de what is happening with the United Party? The base for soon by Ademunio Mube Kabumana, the Ekachiro Biane say, Ajibro, we are building the structures. And when the structures are fully in place, then the whole Ghana population will know, say, Obisi oya dia or person oya ni ye and it's a chief alan person oya dia bi or person oya ni ye to the best interest of the whole Ghanaian population now behind there enya ho fa chefa ewomu. So on that note, I greet Boniface, I greet Obabia Samoa, and I greet all the other leaders. Yo, Ofana Kabri,
Boniface, chairman of the
United Party, Alaji, the general secretary of the party, and he mefa kwenya wesuna machia me penny focus here. Mienue enche Ben oba kaya ho aha and you know, as a matter of fact of Adakabre the cost about this plantain chip vendors any the approach say dada the consumer public say we are providing crispy plantain and plantain to that is fair. Sometimes the plantain chips it gets broken in the rubber. So I am of the view, say perhaps some of the idea to make it a bit more hardened, na and preventing the breakages no, and no be na ebia push you beyond all measures. Say they will find various ingenious ways. Plantain chips no, and then again too, it's not just about plantain chips. You see our mindset. Nyankasa as Ghana for Nankasa no, and not be before Nankasa no. Our mindset towards exploitation of each and like. Yeah, exploiting individuals no it does to do much. That is our nature. My name says Socrates from who say Plato no mudi can buy Ghana there. I don't know how they would have propounded some of these social theories, no. Because we share our mindset as people now for Dakabri. It's not only about food vendors. We or any business in Ghana, no, they be a person offer then Koti Kwambisu now exploiting obi to their advantage. So now, consumers are not protected. Once they got the consumer protection right, how many times do we even hear this consumer protection unit of the government, which is a state-established agency, which is mandated to make sure they protect the interests of the consumer? It is not only about protecting the interests of consumer when it comes to public utilities, Serbia, water bill, ECG bills, basic thing. How not better so be a PURC is at the forefront trying to make some case for the interest of the consumer. But when it comes to the edible consumption goods now, I see Food and Drugs Authority and I say ADNIM to make sure that everything the citizens are consuming, it meets the standard. But Omuankasa as a standard authority, do they have the capacity to checkmate Niamana Ekosu in our market? Father Karube Kai said us a time say Zomiya people were adding some additives to the Zominu. Powder pepper people were adding other external materials to make sure say powder pepper now muyano ebeye bebre no muton omanya faso bebre. So you see all the hue and cry about Nkrofono Marshall Red, Abetina on studio ha Ekasano, Eya Dadankwa, they are just crying unnecessarily. They know that it is a practice among them. They know. Because there's no smoke without fire. They know that these things they have been doing it so that at the end of the day, they'll use it to enhance their sales. But why na customer consumer no? So it is not mainly about disinformation and misinformation or whatever. But at the end of the day, no, the consumer and say, I have been drinking this water. What is the safety level of Unsiowe? Say they be a special ice, no. Now the standard is there, good enough for human consumption. And to say, well, you need to be Iowa Chrome way. Omoye mandated to make sure say anything as citizens to hear consuming it meets the international or the national standard threshold now. Yes, say idea we good enough for the consumer. That is good. Only so for the cabri and kakrana stroke at Chiobi. Kakrana cancer at Chiobi. Kakrana we at Chiobi. Kakrana we at Chiobi. What is the cause of all this is? The cause of all these things is that nemana yet to turn ewa chrome. Nemana yet to turn ewa traffic mu. Obimu faculty kwaisu to make sure say they deceive the consumer. Say we are giving you the best. Naminti, in their mind of mind, they know that they are giving us death sentence there. What kind of attitude is that? So me, I don't know the solution to the problem. All I can say that the citizens are vigilant. Say now also will be here, there be now on any year. Now I are vigilant with the advent of social media and they say there at least uchi obi say oye bibia enfa kwan paso and when they say what broadcasting no udi na tujwa udi ni tujwa by all means the people will get to know this plantation piece away and but you see our attention is just being drawn to it now because people are starting to see evidence of it happening. Omu share on social media without the knowledge of those who are involved in it. What I said, so as the social media is there, no, and one able to media use it to save ourselves because Food and Drug Authority cannot save us. Food and Drug Authority, no, omo to me is stay here because omo kasano they are under capacity, they are functioning under capacity. How many human resources do they have? How many monitoring mechanisms do they have in place? So omo amushi both roads, omo amu ton nyama. Look, obimu kran they are peeling pawpaw and all those or traffic no for Dakabri. Sometimes when you go and see the environment kran omu yi pawpaw we free and say omu ton ma saying ton or traffic no. I mobile. I am very mobile, very pity. And today they are making me can say we should find punitive measures. And the found say if there is an evidence out of evidence, ewa obi hu said to say the obet me say police for. As he say see obi ma video viral video. Aposty and threaten the life of the police or any other government official who himself with their sophisticated IT department, now they are able to go after everybody. And they say, that's a video we appear abonting, which is at the risk of the citizens there. I expect the Ghana Police Service say omu form and shemubi. Now omu investigating the video now omu can cheat the source of the person now or you involved in that dangerous act. Utimi ko chini panu na yedini ko court. Uti I say because all that they are doing is a criminal offense. It's a criminal offense, so they are liable to any charges and conviction. And if they are going through this mechanism, now to me convicted baku, now arrested baku, now chinu na yedini tuma, it will serve as a deterrent to others. Say we will not be sitting aloof. Say you take our lives for granted. And then who yari a hospital bill kakraka. Who yare na see bed anyway? Who yare see ambulance anyway? Yeah boy who bondi say you best show you see you no. Accommodate me kakra na me plantain chips at also. Na fe na me santo def ama me ho ana. So those plantain chip vendors, they have me finally na ben enka bi ni say offer akabri. Omu amu ye plantain chips vendors of my way mu. O show mu Sundays ni sorry omu koni hele baba hele baba hele baba hele baba yeah. Omubefra sorry now Adam Mechia. Now mube yes some of these things now. I wonder which God they are serving. Because when you are serving God, God say love your neighbor as yourself. Men foul who anyone will profit and place it above the interest of your neighbor. So ubekwa sorry, akobon paisa. Upon sorry, man they call your plantation sir. Now feed all the rubber kwakogu. Boni ben ayayo. Boni ben ayayo. So the police service, the Public Regulatory Commission are share the food and safety of the people and are critical. There is nothing about disinformation that is going on at all. If these things are not coming to light, how would we know? So the plantain seller, they shouldn't create the impression that Ebina sell Mujuma and I say this. They should make sure they form an association. They should make sure people have a means of producing the plantain chip and outsourcing it to them. Then they should go and sell in the traffics. Ultimately, we can have the big guys that can be funded to produce the plantain chip in large quantity. Then these street vendors normal collect from that source, so that we can have a control over where the plantain chips are being processed from. And yes, and as Obiaya from the fear the Obia pen Obey, so some can even be licensed. So before we buy plantain chip, now you turn what traffic media, you need to have a license. Now you're making sure say where you are producing the plantain from, no, it meets the requirement of food safety and food hygiene.
Right. Deputy General Secretary of the United Party, Richard Suma, and out in the comments. Sabri will say, the New Patriotic Party has brought in Benjamin Isari, also as a constituency youth organizer. Yes. That to know now on a constituency youth organizer. He's a young man who didn't want to beat me. The shirt nation also even Oxford Slim Fit.
Hey, Chairman, no. As a 24 I don't know.
I'm 24
youth organizer, incoming youth organizer. Not youth organizer. Constituency organizer. Incoming constituency organizer.
Youth organizer, no
constituency organizer. Ben, there you regret voting for him.
I just watching Oxford Slim Fit.
Yes.
Benji.
Yes.
Over. Disinformation, misinformation in the consuming edible world. Watch the way na Baira yachi the way na plantain chips and sengre mother for no money abra warm contokwa. Dear now so can the afam. Obinya being an account radio so I say me call bebina me who so be ye say ubina nature minano. Then we are good to go. Now they say BBR.
But there should be proper investigation about some of this.
Mention Kona Mencha Minua Richard and a TF4 near for Majebre.
So na same cat topic no.
Over you see, I don't regret listening to you a day, and I say there be a meteo biano manage strong because on my moon someone affected ordinary person, you know, Ghana for no na debiano or can want some manage. Say you want penny for or so bear me and 9 ye can't and someone affected or mine and cassa a money pay woman. Kayadea a near my bit me answer because a some way by ya in your man my book jaya better na here as I'm our platform I'm on watch or margin of a nye or monqua a yadea a tacos ye pa na ye say and katie barco ya na say a cofran katie no more we are more and katie ni no I black and I say na say and no na a problem kakra but over there every rumor there is a little bit of truth say a con near who asem kan ye say uyi plantain chips no cry free one more over and some ni bi wo no mo kan na difficult to believe say here den na yenua ma no mo na wo mo chi plantain chips ni ade no omutimi eko deep ehu say ye the rubber e de to anwanum na ye the plantain chips ni gumu na ye the plantain ni gumu ebema na ye solid emubu na wo de shemu like sometimes I na mitime tena se dwen hu sa say sansem no ye nokra eye den no munya sa skills no na wo munya sa nimdie na wo de be Food and Drugs Authority honom na wakọ register wo company no ni aba be assess mo wakọ environmental year ewo assembly no wakọ register na wapomodin even kwai kra obefa so a obechi plantain no kra no ba bia wo chi no ene wan kasa wapomodin wo se efata se wo chi plantain chips no magana fo kra di ana sane mani nyina mu ntimi but kwai a ye fa so de pay ye ho tentem no ya na ya dwen kɔ no so more sometimes me dwen ho a ya na menti ase ba wo behwem no na ye few kakra bi ebi a 5% out of 100% and na sa illegal way no na affect obia na chese e de oye ne kese de abre omo ye genuine business omo hwe de bo omo abusua ene omo keka ho no na akwa problem omo me ba na metie o omo now I was expecting say wo kan say bi say rubber no de ani ni ho a e den no omo hu say ye de rubber begu anwanum na yache ni ye yi afrim na ne ye mfa rubber ngum no na eno nso yache na ya hwe difference na ewo mu meaning say ayade a ebi a ekoso ba omo they are not into that illegal way na omo ye no na say bibi ekoso esese ye hwem na me pese wo ka say Food and Drugs Authority for no Food and Drugs emehwe wo mo adwuma omo ye no na ye regulate wo mo se ne be ya omo ankasa no so obi kura wo ba bi a oya because of say nipa no betimi abese wo mo business ni nti omo ankasa betimi afishi nipa ne out se ne be ya ye beti sa abomofo no anasa aboneyefo na omo de omo pe omo hanya omo peso omo kuye ofa ene yare bebiri a ekoso se ne Richard kan eye sometimes enuane a yedi koyemu ene ma yenya sa problems ni nyina but ubehwemu no regulators no ekwan be ne fa so check ye ho ene obi asole anu anu aduane asi ba bia no woton obi anya ne board ye koto ya onya ananwane ne bidie ene ne gas a na omo start no omo ye business se nipa no kra no o qualify se o yes aduane na ma ye to di no kra no eno nso ye problem nti yesre omo hyemu omo ye sa de no omo make sure say opa ohunya bebrea wonso dache wonso be kwa kopie bi so a wonso be affect oni wabusua na menya so me hyeda nyi ni bebre se eyade a ekoso ne nipa na mete se wo this information ne bae no kra no wo hwe ne interview no line of ne interview ne question na ne yebusa no na o se me pese me yebi na me kobusa obi o chi bi ene ono kire me se sei na omo ye na ebetimi aboa na chese ono ankasa kra no onfa nani enhuye na emom na ye hiese ene ode beto abonten whether say nipa na wo ka kire na ye nokre ana na enye nokre eno so ya another matter say ye na ke wo evidence a e kire say sa allegation na ekoso no enipa no wo evidence e kire say yes rubber na ye ka ho asem no na nipa no de ye ho adwuma ampa na chese ye timi aka ho asem ba je say hiese na ye de ba be say ye maya omo bre wo ho bua ebua fie support fie na ye de be say wo modwo fa mete sasem no me preparate chips ba almost be say 2 months ni me to obiem
sentire na wani ma sesan
me prepare but of mete ye misuro because ehu say yes ye de rubber na ankasa kra na mo de plantain chips ni gumu no a ye hot no a mo de a package maye no kra na no kra no e problem na yes ye be sa de rubber no mum agu anwanu mu ache plantain no na che say dead on arrival ye die aduane ne ye wu anesa so me on say of information bi on mo a sa wo hwe ye business ayesu ya kakra nso a yetimi kumdwa ye kumdwafo e de ye adwuma di obi kura betimi abeto sa de na tum say omo gina kwa ho na omo chi plantain chips no say no omo ye ba bi kura na enye nokre nti sa opedi a ebi akọ supermarket bi na kokoto ne wo ho no de eye nokre na che ono ne che ne de ho no de ko nti ene mi nkokum traffic mufo de no na che so obi e plantain chips ato a na che so wakọ ha konya bi na che se na adwuma ekoso ofa wo ho a omo ye de ye adwuma da bia
omo kra so omo export ko abu
yes na da bia no omo adwuma na ekoso against yenu ama na omo bre omo mojamu na omo kogina traffic moton ofa in fact traffic plantain chips ni bi wo a eye kama papa ma me sport obi ada bia me tobi wo no me duru ho no ani wo a me ntop because the plantain chips na yade a manije ho but from satam na me teye no eye den se meto so I was very happy say ultimately omo ba ha e ma omo be kire mu a wasa ne omo agree on a day say omo mra na omo meye sa demono enkire ye ni ehu say ampa ebini na say nete ebi kuro omo wi a ye be hu ne rubber no ne color ebesi aye sa plantain chips no ne color bi a betimi aye different from original one na omo ankasa omo ye ne sane be ya wadaroma sane da bi aye no obebo hu dawuro amagana fo hu say sansem na mote ye ne bi anya nokure mumongu na ye de rubber no to anwanum ne ye chekra na ne color no kra asesa nti ne emu hu no enye rubber bi a ne ye de che na se ba na ye nokure nso a eno nso ye be hu asem a ye betimi akafa ho but information ni bi wo honom a ya ye very careful because esaya manfo adwuma Obaba kwa mu sister station UTV interview okofa body no from Agogo eko wose na wo nkwala be 8 oche plantain chips na ma omo eba ebeton say because of sansem na si ye no ntino nkwala ni nyina aduane ko nti plantain body a wakoto gu a omo de camera to so enya sem keto ani nyina egu ho epro eye kokko nti na
body e pra ye mfanye bibi
se de ekele ole obetim de ekele obetim de aye but ono no ebi a oni saa
aka kurokura
na make ebi a ono no plantain ne chena na woni tirim ontimi na ne anya bibi foforo a ebetimi ya mastela na watimi akọ nanim ne dia ne
the cost of misinformation
of a very very difficult serious matter o say information a ye de betum anya no of a very serious enti esase ye very careful and say social media obi wo hodom a eno anso de camera si no so no wa kansem no de atum na cover ubehwehwe mu ankasa no na enya nokore enti disinformation na ye de maye ne de eyade a eni kwase ye so and ye ho enti na medika akira wo say ebinom hyeda say ye nkokuma manfo odwa na ye nso ye mfanya ye ho eno no ye one thing because onim say plantation
because agrofo me che elebo e de call supermarkets ahodo petrol stations ahodo koton
of asesi aye kasa kura ye nuama na omo traffic in ebinom ye bi omo lebu na kama obi wo hono ma anye normal one ni bi obo nse na waye na ne lebu ka ho kam ehye ho kama na ode aba na ato eno no je say price no e wo soro kakra obeto no bi a 15 cedis na normal one na omo de ne nam no wato no 10 cedis but because of one no waye nice packaging Food and Drugs Authority for no omo regulate no follow nunti no ono ne de ne a little bit higher than other ones no but ni nyina mu no omo ho nyina sometimes ya na yehu process no kura anye process bi offer too much bia o ba omo suro so omo bekwa nim sebe o omo fi se omo nim de enkwa nim nti no approach obi kura na wo suro simple omunya gidie no omo nka omo humum se ne wo ka kire omo no na yemfo omo mfa process no na bema omo anka so omo dwadie no omo di no kra no sikasem na kosoro mo esene sesi ya omo omo a ye ncheke omo ni environmental we bi a kire se omo enche plantain chips na so omo nche but this information ne dey offer yade a yenye very careful na yade a say ne ma emo akra
yo Benjamin Isari of the New Patriotic Party ana odiyaba na earlier on Rich Suma and so ebai. Now we are joined by Abraham Pofua also of the National Democratic Congress and so Abetrance. Na yanko osi la Côte d'Ivoire reduces cocoa prices. Na my background information we na share la Côte d'Ivoire no e na SCA ewo honom nti Ghana cocoa ena koba se ahokyere kakra ebaaye ena afede cocoa yentimi ntuaka no afede aban se emse na watwe toso na watwe mienu akire ni ena oye ne se ede cocoa no wate so de about 2,500 as opposed to earlier 3,600 no tinkrofo eye ne se la Côte d'Ivoire de ese de bia no ne de no na eye enti la Côte d'Ivoire ne de na eye no na enkrofo eye de be ne a ka se de de smuggling krofo de be ko la Côte d'Ivoire afi la Côte d'Ivoire so aba na wode aba sisi se la Côte d'Ivoire de ba ya osifiti enra March 1 na wati cocoa so na de obi twro ye ne nti ma menkan de nipa kro no etwro ye de baaye o se da be Franklin Kujo akoka bibi de support the Ghanaian government na ono de nchiremu ba de nti a Franklin Kujo defend the government no nti on ti asese Franklin Kujo defend the government no eno no twro we sei o twro we no ma menkan ne brofo na ankoba se bayi bibi ade afrim na obi antie sedo sikan o say Franklin Kujo posted this again to defend the government decision to reduce cocoa farm gate prices. And let me help you with what he left out. I just said Franklin Kujo akotro bibi ade defend the government of Ghana a kind of fast cocoa prices no whatever so. Now wono obechirem adia Franklin Kujo anka nkyerɛ ɛyɛ Ghana for Franklin Kujo no so no or founding president of Imani Ghana na okotra de o say Ivory Coast set their main cocoa price at 2,800 CFA in October 2025. That was record high. Then global prices crashed. Exporters refused to buy Ivorian beans because they were too expensive. The Ivorian government faced a crisis. Farmers had beans but no buyers. So they did something Ghana refused to do. They launched a buyback scheme. They started purchasing unsold beans directly at the guaranteed price. It cost them over 280 billion CFA. That is $516 million. A government source told Reuters, and I quote, "We are paying a subsidy of 1,900 to 2,200 CFA francs per kilo to maintain this guaranteed price and to export the beans. This is completely unsustainable." Unquote. Ivory Coast spent $500 million trying to protect their farmers from the price crash. They only cut prices after exhausting that option. They admitted, and this is the quotation, and I quote, I say, "Every day, prices continue to fall despite our efforts. We must be realistic," unquote. I say, Ghana did not spend $1. Ghana cut prices immediately by 29%. Ghana passed the full weight onto the farmers and called it discipline. Franklin celebrates Ghana paying double Ivory Coast's new price. But Ivory Coast's new price is a 70% cut from their previous price. Ghana's cut is 29%. Ivory Coast spent $500 million trying to avoid this. Ghana spent nothing and let the farmers bear the weight. Power Franklin posts headlines to justify the insensitivity of the Ghanaian government. Farmers are protesting. They wore red at Cocoa Board headquarters. They carried placards saying our children are in the house. We cannot afford to pay their school fees, unquote. I recall one farmer told the Ghana News Agency, and I quote, "The current government promised farmers a better offer during its campaign, but disappointed us. If nothing at all, government should maintain the old price rather than slashing it," unquote. Cocoa Board owes license buying companies between 7 to 8 billion cedis. They owe farmers additional 2.2 billion cedis to 2.5 billion cedis for beans already delivered. Some farmers have not been paid since November, and the majority leader now uses the Ivory Coast comparison to defend the price cut. He says Ghana pays more than double. He leaves out the $500 million Ivory Coast spent before cutting. This is not policy analysis. This is propaganda. And what buy? I see Ivory Coast about say Cocoa Buono akwa yanto amansan dwaso no Cocoa Board shase say opebosia $516 million. Ade makuafo no saa kosisi afede no onya sika ne biem. Ana woti cocoa no so say hwi 70%. Ghana so de eba ya pe waso one de wontimi nkopɛ bosia emfa mre Ghana fo akuafo no and into what is so 29%. And it's a crofo ye demonstration ha. It is here on Cocoa Board. Our Ghana what is so 29%. Every 3,600. Ediba 2,500. Any Ivory Coast initially maintaining sa price no ebo obosia $516 million. Ama ye dia wie na afede de wati cocoa no so 70% hwe no. Dia hene na ye. Na dia hene na enye. Richard.
Oh, ofala ka bre munya yanka omo amuwa ban mu no. Omo yi omo ho ano. Na omo yi omo ho ano.
Bro, we see ka so tie dia. Ma and I'm in fan class so ma.
I say let this car pass over me.
Papa kokura bi. Wadi 88 years. I was London. O se na no efiada no otie wu no akwala no yade papa o defend Mahama papa and I'm say a young lady and the first time on radio and na no fiada eh they were yade pa Inti when you be a more about 88-year-old man.
If I know Ninshira Omo.
I don't know.
Omo share near Mamu can come. And there's only the end in Ninshira Omo. 88-year-old Ninshira Omo.
What's it? Oh, yeah, the power.
So what Bob Brana the wrongs and the rights. Into what checking on who's wayade. By Grofu yard, the Ombana Basso, and that's a bibintia.
I'm not for me into way.
By own Casaka cry.
Into Mamma in Chiakesema with you for no washefo. Na me banana meet you concerning about this rubber plantain a year now walkano. Na mpese me de kakra eka ho. Dia ansa na maba we so. By the amede beka ho the same. Sisi ano wiase dia eye no metie me bra pani no say this omo chichi plantain chips omo di eyi na what's the first say na sa omo kan say moko powder. Won na no so no omo frefre mu ni ade na ho nsem bebre e baaye. Be the ten say sisi ano yesi edwuma ni ho. Ena nyame aye adom. Ena wenya because obiani ni idea or bringing when it comes to business. Na so when your business kakra na say wo ya. Then no be say sika be na wo pe because sisi ano wo ye ne sa na so obi to a odi na say na so we na say ye ne da next time no nto wo hobium. Into be feel say wo ye na wo di enya yen but yen aye to yen ye consumers na ye to no. Ye to na say ensuiting yen ye taste na next time ne yen koto. Inti eba ne sa na this show ne go omo wo this shoprite no ene yin e honum na ye be wakoto because when him say eno ne de woto a eba anytime bia obeko bia na the same taste na obe den wo benya wo taste ne ensesa inti mesre omo tonton na omo ka say omo de rubber echi na yin de me de yi kakra nti no me so omo nhwe na omo nye no na akwan so because sisi ana say ye ka say FDA be mu ni ade na on be ka sa ban abe emboan but wa usu ene wo ban ene be ma ban so be den ebebem nti say yama wakwanya ne se ton ade a ene nkire say wo kwa akoye no de aban se menye na me de be ka ho biem nso mo ye popo me te say na wo ka popo no so ho asem na eyi no ebi ho kra na enyinye popo bi wo ho no ma me ni bebi o mo kofa free na no so mo abeye ena sugarcane ahede no nse no so ya na esusu omo na je na wo sam hu bebi o ye omo ye ne de ya na ye asefem nti mesro omo se bebi omo ye aduane ne kra no wo se de no wudi a enye hot wo se ye hot kra na wudi na ekọ wo ye mu de wonim se bacteria na ewom no mbetumi ayeden ewu ba we su de enye hot nti mesro omo no omo hwe na omo ye de e wo se omo ye na koku asem na ye kan asem koko asam de abaye bebre ama koko farmers ena mesan so abo Randy Abbey ye cocoa board CEO mesan abo na baso because nsem ne started say na eba no communicate no me release interview no ko ni ade nyina any agric minister won so no so be kire mu ma yete ase say oh na che say ade ne de enye oba enye ade ni free mampeni ana say free eyi no but aban bi etwem kɔ ɛna akwakofa saa de nyina ayeden aba na eja aban etwem kɔ ye na eba no cocoa farmers a eja say sisi an ye mo we decide ye sanso mo fertilizer aban etwem kɔ ye mo fertilizer omo nsan mo we decide ɛno kɔ husu ɛna eja amembo oboni nti no omo sisa ye na omo de ye baaye inti no omo de yaba asem nesi ye ni omanya nkitahudie ni ade masisi ayi atoye na aban ayeden etu omo ka na sisi ano no say world market na ye na sisi ano ye de be compare Ivory Coast because you know say Ivory Coast no omo ye major supply ma cocoa inti no dia me kan say sisi ano no cocoa farmers no dia what say half a loaf is better than none. Half a loaf is better than none. It is a wage 3,000. We expect 3,600. Next year, next when you're 2,500. The best realm will say, or more far come a pioneer day, FNG, because so one yen is next when you be cross one and so be any day. into no 2,500 year mo dia mo me adisra na me de besro mo se omumfa akomapa no omumfa nsom na omonje na eja se wonya 2,500 a eja wo se wo de fertilizer ni we decide be ka ho kra wo se wo weni da so obi Patrate wo weni da so obi wo baby because obi susu ye den eso wasen but without say wonya fertilizer won san nya we decide na say bi omoma 2,500 na wo complain dia eja se eno na understandable. But at the end, when you wait, now be compare on mine beer on mine now wo kano. Omo we decide omo sign ma fertilizer. And also to sikana or mode more mono. And wo de na wo ye Ghana ni na wo je no. Difference ewo. Into no, there me mesro mo ne say sisi ane de. Enye dia miracle aboaje ye den. Ye ko interview omo ye yi a omo 250 ni ade omo de fa card ba ye ni eyi ni nyina no. 2,500 no they have to take it in a good faith. Now His Excellency John Dramani Mahama when you are 2,500 no, which tells them that the next Eyibia no the money will be paid to them. Into no munya
President Mahama assures the Ghanaian farmer. Now graphic na de buy or say some do ablo de pay and actually buy or say cocoa reforms will secure fair price. So President Mahama say and she say about the coffee assassin with the buyer no and the money on motu no abema cocoa kwiani no obenya ne so ne de say odo kwia and odo cocoa meet you say a graphic and Samuel do ablode pay what churo yama editor de buy anymore or the cocoa reforms will secure fair prices. President Mahama na ekasa say as a result of ahochire ya eba ya take cocoa price from 3,600 to 2,500 for the 64 kilo bag no or say and she say ye be process 50% ewa ha ye mfanko raw beans no mfanko afen so no ye the price so ba ye be hwe foreign exchange no na ya hwe amano ni price so no na ya hwe atimi assessing e de amagana ni nyina no say cocoa kwiani wo Ghana ha no obenya fair price as my down no
senia wakane die esana ebeba no na senia graphic daily graphic for no so no akano no which tells us say obeye because
State of the Nation address no kai
State of the Nation address no kai and na me I say enka emfa ne ho ana say onye omampania nka obeka say bi obehwe ne hwe ha but so far as waka a dey accord State of Nation address no and a chair say obeye nti enye ma no mbre kakra because sisi ano no eye wo say reform into reform so na yen say bia enda ne ochine ya na je say I dey me hu say na me kakra na je say aha yen ma ne mbre kakra na mbre no mu no so no good news befu ma eden aba nti dia me cartoon so munya abutayem because His Excellency John Dramani Mahama makoma so obeye bibia mom na bibia ye kama
yo Richard
yeah Father Cabre, listening to what you said about the statement put up by Franklin Kujo to the fact that Cote d'Ivoire provided some sort of a respite and some incentives, subsidies, and now finding a way to insulate the cocoa farmer from this global crisis now. We say he may have a bit of justification, but that is not entirely the issue. And moreover, every country has their own approach towards solving all problems. The Cote d'Ivoire government, depending on whatever exogenous factors are surrounding operations and are surrounding their supply, surrounding whatever they are putting out to the international market and whatever supply they are making, may differ from our situation. Therefore, it is very difficult. Say most of the time we like to lump all the two together. But what is the bane of this conversation? Conversation, Nani said, the weather condition has been very good. Therefore, these two major producers, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, they have been able to produce excessive cocoa beans. And because we are not the final consumers of these cocoa beans, we depend largely on off-takers. So if your off-takers are saying that we have surpluses, we have excess, therefore we don't need the excess. Based on that, you see, it's pure economics, demand and supply. When prices are high, that means there's scarcity of product. When prices are low, then there's abundance of product. So this is basic economics of demand and supply. So we are saying that there's abundance of supply and there's a low demand, therefore prices has to drop. If demands go high, prices will obviously go back to where it was. And whether a government decide to incentivize their cocoa farmers, now are insulating you from the pain, are absorbing the debt and buying the cocoa beans from them and keeping it, whether there's a demand for it international or there's no demand for it, they want to go on that tangent now. That is their business. If the Ghana government says that we are just coming from an IMF inherited economy and we must do what we call prudent expenditure, we need to have what we call scale of preference. Now, who say if we go to insulate the farmer, if you go to absorbing the cost of the beans and buying it and heaping it up, we are going to sink further. You bet cost to us sinking further into much more bigger hole. Esunche National Cathedral hole now. Therefore, we will not take such a risk. And because we understand that things like this is not in perpetuity, and yes, a wahoda afibor. Say cocoa price now atisu by 28% no, and which say atisu by 28% no, in perpetuity no, the price no cost to international marketer. Is that a conversation? No. So once that is not a conversation there, then the chances are that the government is doing their own. So safeguarding the industry no, by making sure that in an attempt to safeguard the industry, we also need to save the economy. Because IMF and Chebia. So if you go on a certain expenditure line now, one year careful, the chances that the IMF no kasaponu won't to me free. So now, why this politics of cocoa? The politics of cocoa is that say the politician want to play on the emotion and sentiment of the voter. It is not because NPP loves the cocoa farmer so extraordinary. That is why they are gallivanting around to the point where say they are taking the government to court. Say Argentina about the cocoa price. So is there anything stated in the constitution that prevents government from reducing cocoa price? Is there any constitutional obligation on government? There is none. So if government is talking about demand and supply, demand has come down. Therefore, it is affecting the outgrow. It is affecting the value of whatever you are producing in terms of the cash benefit you get from it. Who gives you that look who say, who the government court? They are playing to the gallery and making it look like we love the cocoa farmer more than anybody else, which is a lie. Yes, you can have made sure that you increase the price for them from, let's say, 500 to 3,000. Or you did that based on the international market price as at that moment. That you were giving the farmer about 70% or less. That is why another government says, at that threshold, at that material moment, you could have done better. And when I'm blaming NDC, he said, you shouldn't have been explicit. Send me the 6,000 Ghana cedi. That is where they got it wrong. When you know vividly whether you are not the final consumer of cocoa, why do you go and give an explicit promise? So the air can say, the cocoa farmers, once they say they are divided on the two political lines. NPP for no mudia cocoa nudia. Omu say ya brabo say ya brabo say. Ya brabo say. Ya ni ya jiriko fie kwa yetu meaning in da ya brabo e basa adentia. Because they are playing politics. Their oil NDC grow and also on him say, oh, I need to sympathize with my government. So that if there is any changes and my government is saying, let me tighten my belt, kakra. When things get back to normal, I'll take it back to where you were or even add some to it. You can see the game they are all playing. Now Miracle Abuaji and Co are gallivanting around. I see billboards in town that talks about cocoa and the suffering of the cocoa. When the pensioners were suffering, when the pensioners were being given a haircut, when we needed to align our payment policies and debt structures to meet the condition of IMF, were they all not saying the other thing otherwise? So me can say there should be no politics with this cocoa. Cote d'Ivoire has also then now realized that now they also have cash deficiencies. Cote d'Ivoire have their claim, they also have cash deficiency. They don't have sufficient money to even absorb all the cocoa beans. They are struggling. Anything on Musumuni cocoa beans now then price in Abba form. But best buying. Say, make sure you incentivize the cocoa farmer, especially support them in this time with the weedicide, the DDT, the fertilizers, the pruning. All those other things that say external cost on the farmer, make sure you absorb it into your belly, because all the state resources are invested in your hand as a government. So absorb your now, making sure say in as much as you have reduced your price, some of these cost components that are supposed to be an additional burden on you, we will absorb it. That makes you a government that feels the pain of the people. But don't reduce the price. At the same time, you don't incentivize them and support them with their work there. On the end to assume ye. And the
idea say cocoa board on no cattle price, we are told 29% of the Ghanaian market. Now La Cote d'Ivoire initially wanted the prices, so people were using the Cote d'Ivoire experience, say or more crankophobe ebe smuggle cocoa diako wale MP KB Kabiru omunyina abe Kembi. Now cocoa board having spent $516 million, I think from March 1 Wasakimbu, he's been defeated. Cocoa board La Cote d'Ivoire has been defeated, and I wapa back I bet cocoa so almost 70% as opposed to the Ghanaian 29%. What do you make of that?
No, it is all about, I'm telling you, the dynamics of the game. Because you see, when it all started, perhaps Cote d'Ivoire felt, say, we could absorb it. Or say, perhaps they feel they have the shock absorber to be able to absorb all the challenges that were coming up. But you see, when it gets to a time, you cannot subsidize everything. You cannot absorb every cost. Because when you do so, when you're careful, you crash your economy. You crash your economy. Because they be say cocoa, the only reason why we are still talking about cocoa, and then they say we have over 800,000 Ghanaian farmers who are involved, or citizens who are involved in the cocoa production. Because who say your government say even when they sell the cocoa, 90% of the profit is going to the cocoa farm. Isn't that the case? 92%. So the 8% that is left, what exactly is it adding to our GDP? What exactly is it bringing on the table? But it is because that the citizens are heavily involved into the cocoa growing. And anything I buy Ajia to me say sector where the young man emperor, because Kwame Nkrumah's days up to today, cocoa has been a major player in our development, which is true. But the point is that the NPP argument of it is Ghana government which is insensitive, Ghana's government which is playing wickedness, Ghana's government who is very, very, very heavy-hearted, heartless. Therefore, they are not ready to reduce, they are not ready to do the right thing where Cote d'Ivoire has a good price. Now the argument are falling flat. So whatever cocoa board has lost, they lost it in good faith. Whatever they have spent, they spent it in good faith in the ultimate interest of the farmer, so that we can safeguard that sector. But today, nobody can make that argument. They say Cote d'Ivoire is having a better price than Ghana because Cote d'Ivoire is not feeling the external shocks of the drop in the demand. That's what he must say. And this argument now, she say are falling flat. Are falling flat. I don't know which angle they are going to take this conversation to again, because I am a United Party person. I'm not a government spokesperson, but I'm an objective-minded individual that I follow issues. I don't follow party. And if the issue is that demand and supply, therefore, government of Ghana say we cannot absorb it all. Because of a kabimo hobby and you absorb it there, you better crash it finally. Now Obisu say, oh, moon tiamu dia na mu tiamu na sa 1,000 Ghana city balance no aban efa hunka or fa hunka when this can back to aban. So as a matter of fact, I am saying that we should stop playing politics with the Ghana cocoa sector. NPP should stop playing politics with the cocoa sector. You find an innovative way of making sure say we expand the cocoa sector, then making sure say we rope in many more youth to participate in the cocoa cultivation so that it can become a lucrative venture. Now say you put away as a president, set the prices of every goods can fluctuate on the international market. And then Now say cocoa price na about from there. Now you see your cocoa farm gate price this one. You engine to so a cost through market now you see your betu so you to so nine jai politics no. I know the MBY.
Richie Suma of the United Party and what and Benjamin is sorry.
Over.
Be in your way.
I hostem. Amity.
No Becca.
It's you Minua Richard. And never mini Minua Bansinche.
Enough is me.
Na me face Minua Richard. You see, what the cocoa are a politics. A winning power. And now I realize you who say ye new politics influ cocoa.
No, but I blame them.
No,
blame them.
But I mean, we say, baby cream fat because what you have for reduce or more price above them. It's an argument in your baby in fat. See me and I'm baby
because I bro.
You see, cocoa farmers almost your own baby. Ye free say ye starting cocoa as some woman muha. Ye fa cocoa and your politics can see it send ye who no 2024 elections. To the extent say what promise cocoa kuyani no one fan chiremu bia mano say abra me promise o say mema 6,000 Ghana cedis no say word price ni gina baby gina mema 6,000 na emom no say so te dia amount wa me de be ma oni based on word price enhyehyeye wo ho nam de betu aka wan kan chire kuyani no wagina simpie so aye politics aka chire cocoa kuyani ni say nanado danko akufuado ni tirimu odin we ye wicked 3,000 Ghana cedis no crow de mamono 3,100 Ghana cedis no crow de mamono still ani tirimu odin na ye de ye ba ye be mamu 6,000 enne kuyani ni say waba wanya omugidie wato abama wakogina wiem baabi wo honum kura na nsuo to omugina mu ema nsuo hwe wo mu because na wo mo pese wo mo to abade ma yewura John Dramani Mahama because obi eniwa opefo asem pakodo meje 3,100 na so be ma me 6,000 dia ene emeku me ho ama wo na makoto aba ma wo na ma make sure say wo be ba be ye president na be ye president ni wi a manya me 6,000 cool ene farmers has been shock change waba betena ha no wo be pa wo mo chew kra na waka kire wo mo say opo wo mo chew na ne asi no wo sere wo mo a they should sympathize with the government ni ade o chirechirem to the sense say o mo deserve 2,500 and na mo akwa Cote d'Ivoire for e de ba be ye yastic de amagana for since when and na mu hu say Cote d'Ivoire for no o mo ate wo mo price so nti say no Ghana ye ntime compare ye hu to Cote d'Ivoire ye ka kire mo say abra word price e course ro no the best thing na ye reasonably I say Ghana na ye wura John Dramani Mahama ye ne say sabre no onko kopesika na beans na wo Ghana ha ni nyina no e wo system num no ye nton free ho that is what Cote d'Ivoire did enti you cannot compare yourself to Cote d'Ivoire ya tumu no Cote d'Ivoire making sure say ne manfo cocoa na wo market no price na wo de to old price no wo de no beto ama wo to beans ni nyina wo system num what de sa old price na to beans ni nyina o wie ye no o se me manfo ba bia world price akwaduru ni ye to ne sa enye ye enti say no ye reduce the about this amount ama Cote d'Ivoire for na tiase they are happy omoni age say president na ye honest to them because satan mo anu omu kokoo no omu ate egu honum na ye ba beton no e na price ni esutu ba afam Cote d'Ivoire aban nkase price na ba fam intimate so the about this amount na ba to cocoa beans no what system num that amount Cote d'Ivoire sebe odwen na manfo ho odwen amanfo no hu se omu abre enti satan no omu kokoo no mento no old price na ma wo mo na meto wie dia and your cocoa going forward, price amidi betoni. Is that what the Ghana government did? Richard, is that what you were John Dramani Mahama did?
So
at that time,
and the management dynamics
so
is different.
We should not compare ourselves to Cote d'Ivoire with their situation now. Oh, yeah, what they say? What they back Cote d'Ivoire there? Then what they did? And then you're different.
You are in an IMF economy.
No, when cocoa price was increased, now you need IMF now.
But the prices then are higher on the international market.
Even electricity so now electricity so 14%. Satan near IMF. And the IMF no kura de emamu kura. Ade ehom sesi an say ye nyina ye nim say price no e cost above them. And I promise you kuani. Wa anya ne kuani ne pe na ama no. Ye yasem ane ye kan say Ghana for kuafo omo ye cocoa farmers no they deserve better. Enti no say 3,100 no kura na. Wo de fatoma omo abra omo cocoa no omo ade akogu depots anaso omo ahihye gufie no yento saa ni nyina free system no with the old price. Now for the government to say going forward mean talk cocoa ne price no with this amount and to say ne mate so now name the aba 2,500 kuyafo ne sebe omo onyansa wonim dia on better government ase but government na anya sa wono no dia wo say cocoa no abra na ono the price ne baaye no wa ba announce price said this month meto cocoa ni say amakuyafo no enya omugidie ama omo akọ hata omo cocoa no apaki gu ho omo twen say wo the price na ne yakura wo mu ne say omo de omo cocoa ne call depots cocoa crash ho omo hwa ye ma omo anya ba bia amfa angu na cocoa crash ka kire ne say omfa ne cocoa ni nkofie na say ye started as sika ba na wato no cocoa farmer no ono no di ne de kogu fie na say ye the new price buyer government say wo do cocoa no cocoa share na ye ma receipt wo do cocoa no call depot ye ma receipt no wo de ye beto no 3,625 na wo wan fa wo de anko cocoa crash no wo de ye beto no 2,500 abra me di me cocoa ne koye cocoa crash se na wa ye ma me mfa nko fie eye den na sa de no affect me nti government no decision na wo take here no it was not enya de a wo de akuafo no ho ba bia na mom no ba bia dru sesi ande wanya bu akuafo na wie wo bu omo anim de awie omo kobo obosia e de koye omo cocoa ama omo aboka hwi ni wanu akuani no sese wo betimi aye ni esese ye ya ne se ye wura John Dramani Mahama say oba no what the 70% ye price and the bema cocoa farmers and no kura no 2025 we ni so because that time wa cocoa no eba one bag 8,400 o ka sa with the 70% na emakuani na ka 2025 na o tu cocoa num call 3,625 ka price e so de makuani no e 5,600 and so why anya ne sa because na mo pem hu say cham and na munim say mo ye forward says M1 because a bedroom no na cocoa price na move from $10,000 akọ $13,000 a bra ye tu ya 3,100 emakuani no what should change you omo it is say explanation bia obema Cote d'Ivoire for the kura de emamu ba bia munya omo no omo nye omo aduma na ye nso ye nya ye de so Richard there is difference between Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana and we should not compare ourselves
to making the
argument
your argument to suit your interest but
and that is why I'm here.
Oh yes, I understand.
But that's how you are.
No me I'm speaking to the fact of the matter.
No you nyina akere say unya ndisi ni
minya ndisi ni
anya MPP ni
there be me UP ni there be enya sa you say yenya objective na or assembly bar yen kanu as to how it's supposed to be.
I don't want it to be said we should not do politics with it. That is why I have a problem with
it.
The government did politics with cocoa. Almost 1 million people and a cocoa sector meboa. Say 1 million no yemfa ne se ne ba ne ma mienu no omu nyina to aba wo ka mo cocoa farmers kwa vote ahe no omde ma
say MDC made a mistake by promising explicit 6,000 but the problem is that
they are alluding to the fact that they made a mistake. They are defending what they did. And you are here saying why you mistake? Why you mistake?
Oh, I've always asked them to apologize. Of course.
If they are about me, you are bad in the film. The PI NDC ni be defending 6,000 Ghana.
It is not proper because once you gave it as a promise, you must honor it. NDC follow me dem ya UP ni o.
Am I here the day? I say say come promise so in the first place. What promise so dia promise and faces so dey nya de papa. And it can be as mon ko bobo say say
Africa's for the board was saying $560 million no, and family Ghana for.
Medase na dia woka ya ka about kokoa me bra senia we mia no ho ka ba no kokoa na ya no mfue se no mumia omo na kokoa na se na ni se ye se na ye se na omo no mo wa be mu anka bisa se nka sa 2500 na nka kokoa farmers kra ko mu benya na nka omunya woti ya se na me bisa minua MPP ni se mu woso no na wo ma cocoa farmer na wo ma the fertilizer na cocoa farmer na ende wo ka na asem no na wo ma no we decide na onye bi nti se wo be te se na say na omo be ye na mo ka 6000 na omo ka say me ka say half a loaf is better than none yade anka ban ni share ha wa ma obi a bibia na obeka say no so ye problem. But here lies the case that abai any omakasa so munya akomantoyem into no omo sa 2500 into me na way nim no say reform into reform no chere say reform no chere say omo de nema be den ebeto akwan mu into no the American say cocoa farmers no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama mo da nakoma so obehwe mu na bibia to din.
So na some way okay we dey una
so na some way na it is na some na waka ne tia wa no Ghana fo bi so akwa kem ewo Middle East in the light of defense and some across America and Israel and Iran ekona Iran so no adan na ahwe other nations in the Middle East here can me ameba akuya there from Pomanso a medical doctor and wako kem ewo Dubai na Zion Felix eso akokem ewo Dubai Richard
yeah
me yede na makofa me bayi
asam we there geopolitics and geopolitics studio so I see your baby there the chances that it will affect a lot of other auxiliary places and I should say United States of America no our bases in almost all these other Arab countries. And then Emma say after the attack on Iran, the Iran is also going after all the Arab installations that of the American government that is within the Middle East Honum. And the say many people are caught in the cross line of fire. Miami sister, ewa Bahrain, or Susa, my brothers. Ewo Dubai, they said the Abubo celebrities moody. Misumi wa my brother Penny be a friend Leonard Asari. Any others? Omu Dubai honuma. Omu susa. Omu so omu Dubai honuma. Omu nyashwe. Omu Dubai honum kra. Some kase kwa na omu ya. Omu baga robe dua kuku anga say ye. Ene bomb. Ene a bomb eba hodia. Musu say ye muden. Yeah, muden. Aban ever play na ko famu bo and I said then. So however you manage and get there, you should find your way to come back. They don't like promoting tourism in Ghana. But Ghana person or you ready so bet me spending $5,000 so call Dubai aba. Adan but usi of course at that sanctuary or hakrapo na on person obeko. Oko adan hakra oko na say $200 crown for hotel or say do do. But up Dubai akọ. And to Dubai for no there, you move free mu. But the how many say America should be very careful. They should be very careful because they are waging a war that if they are not careful, they will not be able to win it. As I am petrol. And it should be a baby say. No, Trump himself said that he's a peace lover. Was he not fighting to get the Nobel Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize award? And then I know, say Iran is also becoming a threat, but you see, America is protecting the interests of Israel because they feel that Iran is a threat to Israel. That is all. Utie Trump na kasa ni kasa mukra. Okay, say Iran is always there saying that Allah Akbaru and then a death to Israel, death to America. That is the thing they want to solve. And the best share to say you, bro. But they said the air can there. I am hoping, I am believing that they will not go for ground invasion. I am sending ground troops to Iran. When they start that approach of sending ground troops to Iran, like they did in Iraq there, it is going to be more dangerous. And then, Matisa see NPA. say Ghana, you were only 5 week or 6 week storage capacity to make sure that we can have sufficient diesel, we can have sufficient petrol. Hey, Aban Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah Ghana, you only have 6 weeks and 5 weeks storage capacity of crude and now of refined diesel and refined product. So assuming without admitting, say Huawei escalated to 3 months. 3 months now to me now supply because God for you have all in every ever. And he said, now say 3 months, 1 year fuel every Gulf countries now. Then I did drive your car. After the using issue and I say about using plantain chief for mu and wabi. And the best Abai said they should always find a way to make sure we have storage capacity of not anything less than 3 months. Not anything less than 3 months. And so for the Kabri Master Manu say, Buboba, you're careful. And my last point, my last final point. And cat topic number, my last final point. Say JDM, Onusukoma State of the Nation address, you know. Me now so di biaka ho. There me young amanti president can say. The president should tell us when he is going to appoint a substantive minister of defense. The safety and security of a country is being protected by the military. They are responsible for protecting the territorial integrity of this country. And to say about me and president, about me and parliament, Ako Kasasa, and he's not telling us when he's going to give us a minister of defense there. I disagree with him. Okay. Because it's supposed to be a key issue that he should have told us and tell us that in the next 2 weeks I'm going to give you a substantive minister of defense. A country without a defense minister is as weak as the tortoise.
Right. Benji.
Over. Yare hosem. Over. Yare hosem pa na. Yebesre. Nuclear weapons we ni adi. America for mu obi, Russia for mu obi, Iran for nso so omo aye omo dia, mo se omo ntiase. But eduru maybe nso a ne kan bi o ho a understandable because the America for chere ne say Iran for no pese omo no stebe o ehwe wo mutirim nti omo nuclear weapons na yade a omo be use nti omo kwai kra am omo nye na ne ye me yes ne eye me hu sesi a ne China for ene Russia for a omo nso de omo ho kwa Iran for against so omo ko fight US and Israel no eyade a ebeye serious na yanhwe yi a kwa kofa oyene kese pa na aba na yebesre aban no Ghana for eho akokwa ekoka adwam se ne Richard kan no ontime mfa kwai na of aso ne ma because enra wo hwe information a na dodo na peso omo baba flight kura enya adwuma Emirates for cancel omo ayi a omo passengers nyina omo akobuku hotel omo nya omo beba means to come no kra na akwaye problem enti eyade a affected the whole world especially Africa hanso yenso ye nya ye hye na se ne menua Richard kan no enya de a ntokwa na ekoso wo US ni Iran ni affect Ghana wo ba bia no de mo mfana no nkasa because Russia Ukraine war affect Ghana wo kwan bia so de a enya de a US any Iran for ntokwa ebe affect Ghana ye ti ye ba bi omo na enyu omo ntokwa omo nkon affect ye gidi pass enya de a US for ni Iran for ntokwa no eni nsunsuanso obi a de be mo man Ghana because Russia kra ewa any Ukraine kra na mu odu kese pa no NDC for my yet say ene Ghana ni twaka bia na economic ayi e ba ye bia no as incompetent as Yewura John Dramani Yewura Akufo-Addo ene Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia ene ema yenya asa na Russia Ukraine war encounter into offer in as much as ye concern say ne ekoso na yade a omu ma adwobromra na ye hia sumdwe wo man mu ewiase nyina asa ne be ya enkonkonya nsunsu akohwe sese ene ema esisi America for no unipa wa America a problem unipa wa Iran a problem sese so omu ye safe omu nye safe obi enim enti yade a ebe ha wiase but enya de a edin nsunsu anso obebe bia be ma Ghana ende emfa maye ye gitum se ye nyansa problem enya ma ye nuaba
abna
one wa ben
Papa bi Papa bi ababa
Bafu is a person is here.
Oh, you put bibia in place.
Ayo.
Ani.
Abraham, final comment.
Okay. Into concerning about this issue, yeah, Iran, US war, yeah, Abe. The America, I can't want to say, I buy a release communique. Be say Ghanaians for no more on Munya Abutayem na Bibia ebeye din. Na mama mo prepare mo say bia abai eyi omo ama na say abai no enfi omo. Na abai no edwe omo ho pa nti na we release sa communique no nti Munya Abutayem e kwan bia ebefa so a Ministry of Foreign Affairs ni abai bebe mu ama no obebe mu ama sa so na mede adesre mede to US ni Iran for say titiri abatan ne nkwala because antokwe ya abai die wa penin de wonim say eja ewiase ne de wabam na wadi enchin ne eyi kakra na kwala so ono so afi na obemu na nti ne mesre omo say omo soso ntokwa no nka amuntwa so emayen no monje nkwala no ne abatan ai no ho no mu fencha ntokwa no so emfa mayen by ntokwe ye ekwe abai media migidi say Ghana enkaye ena ni sentra meka sa ne say yanum for wosu yi Ukraine ni eyi baaye Russia ni Ukraine entokwa kakra na baaye no na eja yete honoma na ya to tax mu yete honoma na omo sise na omo de she Ukraine eyi Russia ni Ukraine entokwa kakra but we die areshe wo mu say ministry no any amampani no Ojin omo citizens Ghanaian citizens no mo honom no so definitely no things will be in place and things will be in order into Munya Abutayem no mo nhwe aban ne kakra
Yenya Abutayem ne nhwe aban kakra
affecting because
empire ye ba no nya de be affecting baby
right Richard, the final comment ne sorry.
Well, my final comment and is I wish Ghana will become a self-sufficient country, self-dependent country. Now we are out to President Mahama or Sanko Boss said they have created 1 million jobs. Sometimes it beats my mind where the jobs are really coming from. Say, oh, go here in Kukon Kitty, and I say, oh, yeah, construction project. Now because of microphone or multi or mupeja red flag, any blue flag says stop, go. Now see what created job there. Hey, why would you? Because I don't consider these things as jobs. Because they be a Mikawa Hassel for Dakabri, a country that manufacturing is growing at 3.2%. It is not a country. A country must not do anything less than 15% in the area of manufacturing. And to this 3.2% manufacturing growth, and you can stand and say you have created 1 million jobs. India, before Mefra Bamu by 4 years time there, now I created 4 million jobs there. And Kaibeda Nyamiasi. But I want this figure to be substantiated with facts, verifiable facts, so that member assembly keke are two honum in the name of the politics.
Right, final comment.
Offer we there send your minua Richard Kayen. You be your time pioneer basunanum because and same baby honum a factual inaccuracy. Ye president ekoko kan ya e bi ne ose abra oba be lanche nkokon nketenkete no na omo atimi ama akuafo no farmers no omo mbehwe nkokon no so 720,000 bets and watch the ama 13,000 farmers 13,000 farmers who na say who divide 720 divided by 13,000 na say so hwa kuyani ba ku bia no anaso obi oye nkuko bia no ebenya 0005 005 who divided 720 divided by 13,000 people not just ocha obi abenya 0005 or you can do the calculation here not just some na president kan no omo misleading no anase bia na wo person o kan 13,000 bet and omo achama 720 farmers no crowd check ya ko obi abenya 8 bets 8 bako 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and na ko obi abenya nti ye benya type go niam ne bebre on mo ye wura president kan ya em say omo misleading na niam ne bi o anya no kre.
Okay, eja so na nasem na mi nuam be ma na omo ba so no so na ne de won say eja don na ye kan so na nasem ka say na submission fantastic. Over 1 million jobs na me bra kano 1 million jobs no ade e wo honom this youth employment under YEA youth engagement no 86,000 eneja sisi ano no omo youth employment mu a uhu sa military police for ne sa fire for no na ye ejuma na ejuma
awotifie so
ye ejuma na sisi ano so no sa ejuma ye omu ye debi a wo sori anopa wonim say at least wonya baby kwa wo kwa ye ejuma wonya baby na ode ye den e de kwa yes at the end no wo benya salary kakra ka ho me say NDC adwen mabu ho esan so dwen ga no dia meka say sisi ano no aban papa ba obi eni age ba na eja ma me fa we ni mfentwa to registration na ye no eja registration no patch of various branches no ma biebie mesre aban papa na aba no na kwotro within our branches various branches ni na get registered nenya party card me da mo nyina ase
emma Richie Suma of the United Party yamfa emma abna Ampofua also free of the National Democratic Congress. I also and you know, and then first Dama Benjamin Isari of the National New Patriotic Party. Into Nina and Asada, Yamiadma Quadavia, a Beche,
Plantain chips. Never banter, man. Never banter me about Benjamin. Yababe, the difference between Robert Dianone and one Diana, the action, and then almost very important.
The Robert original one, and to UTV at the Atro Omo page. So far, over 1,000 comments and Abemo and Ohini so I supply me with certain information or baby so EDB. Robert Atumwa or no so watch here and you know or you need for you say chichi and he said baby or no bani jina no so watch be the Robert Atum publicly and a Robert demono ukwada na ya hwede nyina na yaka ye hwehwe say solution to the issue na yenye adwuma na adwuma na ye beye no state agencies na omo mandate say omo hwe sa de bi ade koye numu no ye ade papa den for how my was say ye hwe say omo so be di ehuni nti we would also expect some
chips there aduane pa
aduane pa the DJ foreigner na oba na yenti di ono so de brain
enuma beto to de me baba no ho ade no twem so betumi a asew na obeka ya jontuma miensa duku potomanto this way chocolate drink na kan wo hwe afibia so beri ni waware ne this way chocolate drink na kan sia asew udan kan no ntumu ho me be mo anu nso hye kura de aka ho wo hade wapi ho o ka sa batete eda fom ho this way chocolate drink
kracha obepe ya baba aware
asew
ye fia say this way chocolate drink ya sorry anopa no ne yenom ye be chef fridge nom no se snack ye nya hoho a no ne de serve wo mo ye didi wie ne ye pe bibia bogu ya de so a this chocolate drink ne yenom and this one wo ti ano a he se kire wom kokko wom brick wom bibia wom ade wo hia ne so se
this way chocolate drink
de wo hia ani so se
FDA ahwehwe se adwede nkrato mu agye atum se eye
cool, fresh and trendy with a new look. Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you flow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized feel different. Always think specialized. Special Ice Natural Mineral Water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hey, catch it. Listen in here. And you ma beto to dia me baba no ho ade no. Twem so betumi a. Asew. Now beka. Ya jontuma miensa duku. Potuma